Самое важное в этой игре, если навестись на настройки, то будет котик.
Hello, folks. I am Froob. This is Lost Judgment. I have to show you the most important part about this title screen, which is going over to the game settings. You see this really cute cat. That is the best part of this title screen by far. Before we start the game, despite the cute imagery on screen, I have to give a very small content warning for what's coming up. Lost Judgment deals with some very heavy.
В игре очень непристойные темы насчет суицидов и буллинга.
Far longer than I have the grey hairs in my beard right now, but that's just as a warning for ahead of time. It's unavoidable.
Играть будем на легкой сложности. Включаем автосейв. Погнали.
We are going to get going. We're going to turn on autosave just in case. So we're going to get going in 3.
Сама игра на Dragon Engine.
So, as Bobby said, just
как и остальные Якудза игры, на Dragon Engine Якудзы самые быстрые. Сиквел Judgment. Мы играем за Ягами, детектива.
Where we start as Takayuki Yagami here. You see him right here. He is a lawyer turned detective. I'm not going to get too much into his backstory. That's covered in the original Judgment. It's a fantastic game. That's Kaito on area piece
И игра начинается с автоскроллера, где мы должны следовать за целью по имени Касуки.
We are going to start the game off here. Just in the prologue, we're going to start off with this little case where this guy here called Kosuke, he is supposedly taking money from women and using it for gambling. Up to nefarious, no good. So, I'm going to be not doing it too much, but I'm going to be referring back to the original Judgment speedrun a couple of times. The original Judgment speedrun, as was mentioned in the interview with Fiesel earlier, is 5 hours long, double the length of this game. There's a couple of reasons for that. One of them is the
В оригинальном Judgment'е было 8 таких секций, которые занимали около часа, наверное, из-за чего estimate игры был 5 часов.
None of them are skippable. There's a couple of bits of speed tech in them. You're going to see a bit coming up here with our new Act Casual button. But
единственный стелс-сегмент в этой игре это как раз таки в начале игры. Делаем фотку нашей цели. Около 95% катсцен скипается в этой игре, остальные нужно просто промотать.
Some of the cutscenes are skippable because it's a Dragon Engine game. 95% of the cutscenes skippable. Usually the ones in the tail segments aren't. You get more tail segments.
Kosuke подойдет к местному.
Absolutely fantastic again. Kosuke is going to walk up there towards that mascot character. That's Camelot, who was
Камулоп. Как же он называется?
We're going to do a little bit of speed tech, as I said, coming up here. Kosuke is going to walk up to the top, and he's supposed to stand around for a little while. I want to be a little careful here.
Если шкала справа сверху достигнет 100%, то это будет game over.
The bar at the top right is his awareness of you. When that reaches 100%, you get an automatic game over. Now, he actually acts differently depending on the percentage that he hits. I was hoping, yeah, that he'd notice me. Good. I don't want to go into yellow just yet because he'll react a little weirdly in the next upcoming bit. But because I've interrupted him, you'll notice when he gets here, he starts running. So it's a nice little way to interrupt his animation. We do something kind of similar in the original Judgment speedrun as well. But one thing that I've mentioned with every RGG speedrun that actually really matters here is the fact that Dragon Engine has a very
В Dragon Engine на самом деле очень странная система звуков, и если бы ранее перепрыгнул эту стойку чуть раньше, то по звуку его бы Kosuke заметил. Если может повернуться. Теперь интересная часть. Битва. У местных якудз есть небольшие проблемы с ягами со времен последней игры.
Have a little bit of beef with Yagami for getting their Anarchy in a bit of trouble during a law case.
Туториал можно скипнуть.
I always talk about the different tutorials in the Yakuza games, the RGG games, and Lost Judgment sits firmly.
У вас есть два разных стиля битвы, Кран и Тигр.
Lost Judgment's combat. You have two different fighting styles. You start off with Tiger and Crane. You both went down. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. You ideally don't want either of them to go down there. If both of them don't go down, usually
Также есть третий стиль, но он появится где-то минут через 10.
But In Lost Judgment's combat, we start with two different styles. There is Free, we'll talk about the third one in about 10 minutes' time. We start off with Tiger and Crane. They're the exact same styles from the original Judgment. Now, the original Judgment speedrun is absolutely fascinating because...
В первом Judgment можно было менять стили только когда вы находитесь в X-Hit моде. То есть Супер Саян мод, если можно.
High-powered mode where you can do more stuff. Incorrect, you can actually change your styles at the apex of your combos, the exact moment you hit that strong attack. Now,
Тигр, журавль и змея.
Hello, you're supposed to talk about going to the convenience store, my dude. So, Lost Judgment has some of the best combat in the Dragon engine because that requirement of hitting it at the exact point of the strong combo is gone. You can change styles at any point.
Комбат в Lost Judgment прекрасен за тем, что можно жонглировать своими врагами. Если, например, когда играли в Tekken, то вы примерно понимаете, о чем это. И именно это можно делать в Lost Judgment. Рекомендую посмотреть несколько видосов на ютубе No Damage Lost Judgment. То, как они просто жонглируют врагами, это вау.
In the original Judgment, most people agreed that Tiger was the most overpowered style by far.
Здесь можно взять абсолютно рандомное фото. Хотя, по сути, надо было снять то, как Касуки снимает деньги с банкомата. И мы закончили преследовать Косуки.
We were all expecting that Tiger would be heavily nerfed between Judgment and Lost Judgment, and somebody came around and said, what if we made Tiger stronger? So, this is
это вторая часть уже.
This is brand new to Lost Judgment. I have feelings about these sections.
Косуки зашел в это здание, и нам нужно было исследовать способ туда зайти. И теперь у нас есть паркур. Чего не было в первой части. Здесь мы подбираем хилку, семена, потому что здесь можно быть садовником.
Later on, there's going to be a couple of these. I'll be throwing it over to Bobby during some of these, because some of them I have to concentrate in. But for the most part, these are actually really cool. They are servers are getting you up there. Thank you for not turning around, Yagami, because you usually do. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to drop down here early, because if we
Еще одна хилка для нашего хит-мода.
Now, importantly to mention here, every single item that's in these sections here are all fixed. That's going to become important in about 20 minutes time. But we're going to jump in here, and we're going to get to
На самом деле, Тигр стиль очень силен в обеих играх. В первой игре, если проапгрейдить стиль Тигра, то кран вам вообще не нужен.
So one of the nice things that Lost Judgment does over the original Judgment is it starts you off with max combo speed, which makes things so fast, and two, it starts you with charge attacks on Tiger. Those charge attacks actually gonna become vital.
У каждого стиля есть свой способ заставить противника летать, чтобы можно было его жонглировать.
Multiple different ways to launch enemies into the air. This is going to be very, very important for the juggling I talked about.
Если подойти к этим ящикам, то он проснется. Не повезло, не повезло. Этого не должно было быть. И это гейм-овер. Все. Конец. На этот раз получилось. Теперь можно набежать до двери, потому что он не успеет встать до того, как мы добежим до двери.
Now you can run, because in the time that it takes for him to stand up, as you saw before, he doesn't actually notice you. His hitbox disappears for a second, and then we get to go.
Ну, я называю его кран, потому что в оригинальной игре он называется Crane. Так что, наверное, это кран. А журавль я не буду говорить, я картавый, извините.
In the original Judgment, you also had another way of doing lockpicking, but that got removed in this game, called the fun turn bypass.
Здесь можно кинуть монетку Hitman Style и придушить его.
So this guy doesn't have very much cone of vision, so we can just walk around literally right next to him. There's going to be speed tech in regards to taking out some of these enemies in these stealth sections later on. But we're going to finally reach the tatami room here, and we're going to find that Kosuke is indeed up to no good. He is gambling away. So we're going to
Сейчас у нас будет первый босс битвы в этой игре, сам Косаки. Косаки немножко мем в этой игре, потому что он нам угрожает тем, что он знает своих друзей из Тоджо клана, который уже 2 года как распался. И также угрожает нам тем, что он ходит в качалку раз в неделю. Boss of this gym, как говорится. Потом подзывает своих дружков. Здесь туториал хит-мода. Делаем лайнап. Charged атака. И используем только заряженные атаки. Да, ты прав, Немра. Так же, как и в слове «тигр» есть «р». И теперь за Косаки нужно бежать. Очень, на самом деле, дурацкие секции, которые были со времен Якудзы 3. И очень хорошо, что их убрали в Zero. Да, no damage раны в любой Якудзе, они потрясающие. Очень сильно рекомендую. И пока что читаю донаты, а мы побежим за Косаки.
Saying, my husband and I discovered Yakuza courtesy of the Rugby Baby incentive from AGDQ2021. It led us to play Like a Dragon, which is one of the best games I've ever experienced. I can't wait to see this Lost Judgment run and want more GDQ. Ganbate, folks. And we have a $125 donation from Eccentric J saying, do your best, Froob. You got this. Huge thanks to all the runners, staff, chat, and donators for making GDQ so great. You want to know what would make GDQ even better? Is this Gauntlet Boss Rush. We have raised $12,000 out of $100,000. And dearest Twitch chat, I believe in you from the beginning. There is going to be no apology from me. I believe in you, Twitch chat. I believe in you, official GDQ Discord. I see you too in your bingo card. You're welcome. I just gave you 2 squares. I believe in you to help us get this Gauntlet Boss Rush.
Yes, that would be fantastic. I would like to say that GDQ has also given me the go-ahead. The Gauntlet Boss Rush initially was only the boss part of the Gauntlet that's on the
Если уже хотите увидеть, как просто уничтожить супермощного финального босса игры, точнее, секретного босса игры, то задонатьте. Спасибо.
So this is the Genda Law Office. This is where, obviously, when we were a lawyer, we were working for them. Genda is like Yagami's dad again. Go play original Judgment. It's great. So this is Genda Sensei.
Ягами расследует дело того, как какой-то Ихара трогал кого-то на поезде. Типичная ситуация в Японии.
One thing that I should also mention that's very important to that. Oh, this is the only time we get to jump out the window, by the way. Original Judgment, you jump out this window. It's the quickest way to get out of the building. It's great. This is Kaito. I'm supposed to be... My community wanted me to wear this shirt because I'm supposed to be like budget Kaito.
Косаки попал в какую-то беду, поэтому мы должны спасти его из бара с этими бандитами, жуликами. Также, опять же, немножко лора. Сейчас мы находимся в городе Токио, район Камурочо. В данный момент в городе Ижинчоу, в районе Йокохама. В заброшенном здании нашли тело, что тоже будет очень важно. Ихару посадили на 6 месяцев за то, что он кого-то посадил, трогал на поезде. Сюжет в этой части я не играл ни в первый, ни в второй Judgment, потому что их нет на ПК. И история, почему не хотят выпускать Judgment-ы на ПК, очень дурацкая. Здесь мы покупаем специальную рубашку, для того, чтобы она увеличила нашу атаку на 10 поинтов. Скипаем здесь катсцену с песней, которая имеет в себе DMCA. Страшно.
Kaito has his drone in the front. The drone is important, trust me. And then I'm going to skip the song here that gets us DMCA'd. It's a good song. It's a very good song. So, we're now going to go into chapter 1 properly.
Переезжаем в Йокохаму, которая изначально появилась в Якудзе 7, или же, как она известна на Западе, Якудза Like a Dragon.
Absolutely amazing Yakuza Like a Dragon. And we're going to be running down here. We're going to get into trouble with a couple of the locals. There's going to be a big old fight, and we're going to find a bunch of rowdy ruffians who are attacking a restaurant nearby.
Здесь парочка гопников нападают на ресторан, и здесь нам представляют стиль змеи. Стиль хороший, но использовать мы его не будем. Бакамитая в этой игре не будет, извините. Ягами, протагонист Джаджмента, не поет караоке. Но здесь есть мини-игра с танцами. Получаем еще один предмет одежды.
Piece of gear. We're supposed to get tutorialized on gear here. These are the wristbands. They only raise our attack by 3%, but 3% is better than nothing. We're putting those on in a little bit. So here in Ijincho, we're going to go and find our friends Tsukumo and Sugiura. Again, two characters that were introduced in the original Judgment. They have set up their own detective agency here in Izizaki Ijincho. They have a big case that they're working on, and they need our help with it.
В местной школе кого-то булят, поэтому наш бравый детектив Ягами берется за это дело. Берем такси до Чайнатауна.
But essentially, we're going to go meet with the school chairman, and we're going to discuss about this bullying issue. The school chairman Okuda.
Это проблема дилея стрима и рестрима. Ничего поделать не могу, извините.
One of the things that Yakuza Like a Dragon actually implements is the ability to fast travel anywhere. It is absolutely massive for going faster, and it's really, really appreciated.
В отличие от предыдущей игры в серии Like a Dragon, для того, чтобы ездить на такси с помощью телефона в любую точку города, нужно было сначала их открыть. В игре же они открыты с самого начала. Мы получаем скейт, и теперь мы немножко Тони Хоук. И почитаем пока что донат.
Whilst I go and skateboard over to this town's version of Ebisu, I'm going to throw it over to Bobby once again for a couple of quick donations.
All right, we have $250 from Barry saying 5 minutes in and I'm already...
Dragon по своей сути номерная. Она в Японии называется Якудза 7. Но чтобы ее раскрутить на Западе, они убрали цифру. Ну, хуже не стало, если честно. Потому что в Якудзу можно начать играть из семерки, потому что никакого сюжета вы не потеряете за предыдущие 6 игр. Nasty man. Легкая, заряжена, не заряжена и хит-экшен. Готов.
Light, no charge, charge, and then we're just gonna hit him with the EX attack. Sorry, thrifty Yakuza.
Да, 7 игр, если еще учитывать нулевку. Да-да.
Is that 4 years ago, there was a suicide at Serio High School. There's also suddenly a missing student teacher who hasn't turned up for a while.
Отдохнем на диванчике. И сейчас мы проникнем в эту школу, где есть проблемы с буллингом в виде уборщика. Можем поменять нашу одежду. Надеваем наше снаряжение, откроем пару скиллов, откроем буст атаки. И берем такси до школы.
We're going to go into our item menu real quick. Going to equip the battle innerwear, the wristband. We're going to go into our skills and obviously get attack level 1 because, as you could probably guess, attack level 1 gives you more attack. Surprising.
Ну, странно их сравнивать, лаба.
As I said earlier, this is a brand new part of the map introduced in this game. It's absolutely massive. It's the top left part of the map. And in this next part here,
нам нужно обойти триггер катсцены.
Doesn't really fit the part. Here's going to be the cutscene trigger. So what we want to do is we want to open the door for Kaito and stick relatively close to him on the top part so that we can get past him a little faster. We are forced to walk.
Ну и к тому же, да, в Sleeping Dog же Китай, а здесь Япония. Да и геймплейная игра слишком разная.
Any Dragon Engine game, anytime there's double doors, take the double doors by the middle. It will open them faster. Yes, that's slight speed tech. Trust me, it saves you like a second.
В этой игре, если зайти в вид от первого лица, то можно ходить по лестницам быстрее. Видимо, этот трюк японцы посмотрели из GTA 5, потому что там есть точно такой же глич.
You don't get like out a phone selfie stick and like go in third person. Like you go in first person. You use your eyes. That's how you go fast upstairs in real life. We're just applying real life logic to stairs in the video game.
Молодец, Спайра.
So we come across here an unfortunate janitor who
Молодца.
out of our way. This poor janitor. You can have a couple of options on what to do.
Ну, лаба. По Китаю вышла Battlefield 4. И в нее в Китае играть нельзя. Вот тебе и показатель. Как бы любая игра, которая выйдет при Китае, она, скорее всего, будет забанена в Китае. Так что неприбыльно, неприбыльно. But we're going to get introduced to a character that you're not going to see for a second, a teacher named Yoko Sawa. We're going to be rude to her with the right option because that's going to skip a couple of dialogue options. I know what life lessons this game is teaching, but not good ones so far. Надо сделать игру про бинг-чиллинг. Так, пошли искать местного буллера. Задиру. Спускаемся на второй этаж.
Keep forgetting that's not the skippable part. So we're going to go back to class 2-2, and we're going to meet another new character. You have to be careful.
Мы находим человека, которого булят в этой школе.
You can actually launch yourself into a full roll, and you lose time because of that. So this is poor Mami Koda. She is being bullied here. Now the nice thing is,
обследуем ее. Почему она грустит?
You can do all of her like investigation parts from here. She's supposed to look at.
Теперь у нас есть доказательства на то, что кто-то ее булит.
She's the girl in class who's currently being bullied. We'll find out why later on. But we have basically seen the bullying and we've got some evidence of it now. So we're going to go and see the chairman, who's also going to bring in Yoko Sawa, and we're going to basically get everybody up to speed on what's going on here. So.
Когда игра просит вас передвинуться на другой этаж, лучше этого не делать, потому что каждый раз, когда вы заходите в лифт, у игры будет анимация, где вы заходите и выходите, также плюс загрузка, поэтому проще добежать. Нам надо подбросить парочку жучков в класс. Кто-то из школьников заметил один из наших жучков, поэтому нужно пойти и снять с него стикер. И опять же донаты, потому что в этой игре очень много филлеров. Кстати, да, чтобы решить споры, какого жанра эта игра, на данный момент все якудзы, именно что якудзы, они будут JRPG, а спин-офф Judgment'а как раз-таки про обычную боевку, которая всегда была в якудзе.
And we have a $5 donation from our guide saying Froob is easily my favorite streamer and a great Yakuza runner and commentator. This money is obviously going to the boss rush. And we have a $100 donation from Trafton saying excited to see Froob crush Lost Judgment. And speaking of crushing, y'all are crushing it. We are almost to $15,000 out of the $100,000.
Ты бы хоть видел, с какой силой он избивает школьников? Он танцует на них.
It's going to be amazing. Make sure that when you make your donation over at GamesDoneQuick.com/donate, you select the Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive after you put in your amount. and
стелс-секция, в которой есть много РНГ.
Lost Judgment really is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So, this stealth section is
Если это
unfortunately
охранники, из
very
чего нам придется
RNG.
пойти назад.
This is where runs usually die quite early on.
У нас
We get
есть
to
дымовая
floor 2,
шашка.
and as we go down to floor 2, there's a couple of security guards in the way.
Кидаем
So we're gonna have
попу
to
в
go
лицо.
back upstairs. We're going to introduce to a mechanic called the smoke ball here. The smoke ball basically, as you'll see, is going to stop anybody from being able to see you or move. This is going to be some of our speed tech for
Для лучшего случая нам нужно, чтобы все охранники отвернулись в одну сторону. Можем пробежать и пробегаем.
They all need to be turned around for you to get past. Unfortunately, I've got a really nasty pattern. That's actually pretty decent timing, at least on that guy. This guy at the end takes forever to turn around, but this is your first big, reset point.
Бросаем монетку, не бежим.
We were wondering whether it was on like an internal timer. It's not. It's just random. We're gonna grab intentionally this smoke bomb here. I'm gonna go intentionally here out of his
Бомба в
way.
лицо.
Throw the coin, not the bomb. Do not run, otherwise
Хватаем
he will
еще
kill you from that sound system I was saying
пыли
earlier.
для
When we get to here,
крафта
I'm
бомб.
a little behind, so I might have to do this out of order. Yep. Throw the smoke bomb at this guy. This allows us to run down the corridor.
Почти грейсдафт. Это спин-офф Якудзы. Но практически она использует все ассеты Якудзы.
And with this, we've finally made it to class 2. So
Вплоть
we're
до
gonna go
города.
set up those speakers that I said about. Unfortunately, everything is not going to go to plan.
Пытаемся убежать от местных задир,
Round here to the desk.
но они нас успевают догнать.
Is that a rugby club? I said earlier, we don't have rugby baby, we have a rugby ball.
Да, также можно немножко послушать музыки стиля змеи. Вот что-что, а Judgment — это лучший саундтрек 2021 года. Другие мнения не принимаются, извините.
There is a very big difference between the original Judgment's combat and this game's combat that I haven't gone into yet. In the original Judgment, there were these things called mortal wounds. When the boss enemy goes into their EX, they will always do a mortal wound attack. That's exactly the same here. But in the original Judgment, it permanently breaks your HP bar if it hits you. The absolute audacity to have a system like that. It's fantastic.
Сразу переходим в Тигр.
It makes the original Judgment easily the hardest RGG sport
Жонглируем главным здесь боссом, Якуном. Сносим ему половину хп. Он уходит в хит-мод. Добиваем его миньонов. Включаем X-хит. Включаем чардж атаки. Доджим, и можно проходить контратаку. То, что сейчас сделал босс, это называется мортальная атака. И она имеет один шанс того, что вы можете ее задоджить. То есть можно ее задоджить один раз за файт. А, нет, можно от всех таких атак доджить. Берем такси до агентства.
Those mortal attacks are going to be absolutely vital to the boss fights in this run. In the original Judgment, it's exactly the same as the original Judgment, in that every single boss at the middle of their fight, they will go into an invulnerability state. You can't hit them. You can interrupt them out of it by doing a heat move. But with Lost Judgment, the vast majority of any bosses,
такси до школы.
The vast majority of any bosses actually have a whole bunch of like ads with them. So instead of going for the old strats that we did in Judgment, we go for different strats. So we're gonna head back to Seiryu High School. We are going to basically just say to everybody that, hey, everything is all
Мы получаем телефонный звонок, и теперь нам нужно расследовать дело о пропаже девочки, которую булили в школе. Скипаем катсцены, рассматриваем доказательства.
We're going to start questioning Mikoshiba with the school chairman. So we're going to learn a little bit more. A couple of years ago, there was a court case a couple of years ago, 4 years ago, from a certain Ihara about the bullying that happened at school and Ihara's son's unfortunate suicide. The courts found no evidence of bullying. We are going to look at this photograph, and every time I do, it does not make me laugh. This is a very tragic photograph.
Спрятанная фотка за фоткой, и это будет важно позже.
But you might have noticed very briefly.
На самом деле, сори, что я не могу так много рассказывать про сюжет. Агентство этого актера не выпускает игру на ПК, из-за чего нельзя нам ее потрогать. А про другую любую якузу рассказал бы с радостью. Еще больше задир, которым нужно надрать пятую точку. Бустим себе еще раз атаку, уже на второй уровень. X-Hit Mode, Charge, Charge, еще один Charge и еще два Charge. Блин, спешу, а как мне затормозить себя?
Leaving Matsui till last is pretty decent because Matsui has a little bit of a higher HP bar than the rest of the bullies, as does the first one we attacked, Sasaki, I believe his name was. That's a Kane in the back, she'll be important later on. She will be important later on. So,
нет, я хотел сказать, что лучший саунд был в Judgment.
We don't have a way to be able to say logistically, hey, we have a reason to be here. We're just some lawyer detective who's running around the school in a really nice leather jacket and some jeans. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and find a way in at the school. This is Amasawa. Amasawa here is the girl who put the sticker over the camera and caught us. She knows who we are. So what we're going to do...
Теперь для того, чтобы уговорить эту девочку не накидывать на нас никаких обвинений, нам приходится вступить в кружок.
Guess who leads the mystery research club? Guess who's going to become the club advisor? So we're supposed to wait for Amasawa here, but we're going to just run ahead and just go through again the double doors because we don't have to wait for her. This is going to introduce us to a giant piece of side content called the school.
На самом деле в этой школе много различных кружков, и все это мини-игры. Я опять же зачитываю донаты. Что интересно, в этой школе есть кружок с игрой в казино. Это интересно, как минимум.
From one of my all-time favorite series and one of my favorite streamers. I first saw Froob a few GDQs ago and quickly followed him on Twitch. Good luck on the run, and let's get that boss gauntlet incentive. And we have a $10 donation from Bunny Braxian saying, long-time watcher, first-time donor from Chile. Really excited for the Lost Judgment run. Probably my game of the year from last year.
Танцевальная мини-игра.
Series in general. Good luck to the runner. We have about 84,000 left for the Gauntlet boss rush.
Nice. So, as you can see, we have ourselves a dancing mini.
У каждого кружка есть своя сторилайн.
This is only a small sample of the actual storyline you get here. Every single school club has its own storyline, and the dance clubs is absolutely fantastic. It's everything you would expect it to be. So,
Кружок борделя. Хороший вопрос.
The contract to make him do karaoke would probably be a bit too expensive. So, instead, we're going to mix around the rules a little bit and have dancing, and it is absolutely fantastic. The actual dancing minigame itself is really well thought out. They actually have, like, you can even, like, change the timing up in the actual main game itself. It's absolutely really well detailed. It's really good. You get a couple of different outfits.
Теперь идем в кружок баскетбола.
Really, really cool. So, we're gonna head to the basketball club. The basketball club actually say to us that Mami Koda used to be Mikushiba's star pupil, and Mikushiba used to put a lot of pressure on Mami Koda. We're going to go to the classroom, we're going to have a little bit of a heart-to-heart with Mami Koda, and then Akane is going to come and see us and say that all the bullies want to, you know, reconcile our differences up.
И как вы можете догадаться, сейчас будет очередная битва, потому что и даже у врагов теперь есть оружие, биты, ножи, катаны из дерева, тренировочные.
Justified? Like, but the best part about the school stories is, if you've ever seen the meme, how do you do, fellow kids, Yagami literally does the line. It's so good. The localization of this.
Покупаем апгрейд для тигра.
But we're going to do a little bit of a level up here. We're going to go into our skills. I'm going to go to Tiger and get Tiger Hidden Arts 1. Every single style.
И теперь у нас будет еще больше урона в стиле тигр.
With Tiger, by doing a charge attack,
раздаем всем чарджи.
We actually gain more damage in Tiger style. I don't know who decided to give Tiger more damage. Good fight. I don't know who decided to give Tiger more damage, but yeah, it's absolutely overpowered. Here's this
Директор этой школы сказал, что в нашей школе нет буллинга, и вот на нас нападает чувак с ножом. Данный школьник утверждает, что у него есть связи с мафией Лиманг. Мафия Лиманг изначально была в Якудза Like a Dragon. Это китайская мафия. Йокохама вообще удивительный город. В нем обитает целых 3 мафии из 3 разных стран. Китайская, корейская и японская. И все как-то делятся между собой. Здесь мы получаем книжку раненого. Это позволяет нам иметь еще больше урона, если ХП мигает красным. Очень рискованная стратегия. Но работает.
But then at that point, everything one-shots you. As I said, the speedrun's going to get hard. I love the speedrun. So.
Не получилось ударить вторым чарджем босса. Начинает мортальную атаку. За это время нам нужно успеть раскидать вот этих чувачков в экските. Прерываем его мортальную атаку, и он готов.
You can actually interrupt every single boss's EX if you can hit them at the right timing when they go through their EX.
Очень важно то, чтобы боссы в хит-моде не попадали вам, потому что любой удар это тайм-лосс на 30-40 секунд. Да, Оранж, типичная школа Выхина. Мы замечаем, что тут есть вторая фотка. И выясняем, что это как раз таки чувачок, которого нашли мертвым в начале игры в катсцене. Здесь мы встречаем полицейского офицера Ватанаbe, но он будет важен попозже.
His name is Watanabe. We'll talk about Watanabe later on. That's going to be chapter 2.
В оригинальном Джаджменте первая глава вообще длится час, так что эта игра намного быстрее по сравнению с первой игрой.
It's very, very long. It's obscenely long, but it's really good. So, we're gonna head outside. And we're going to go and see Tsukumo. We're going to meet up with Sawa. She's going to actually finally have a conversation with us about Mikushiba. We're going to meet her at a cafe called Plague at 9 PM at night. And this is the part, I mentioned it earlier, this is the part where the language choice actually matters. So, as a nice kind of ironic twist of fate, most Yakuza games only have the Japanese dub other than Yakuza Like a Dragon, which has English and Japanese. In Yakuza, and obviously Fist North Star. In Fist North Star and Yakuza Like a Dragon, the fastest language is...
Здесь секция, в которой выбор языка на самом деле важен, потому что Judgment и Lost Judgment можно играть на японском и английская озвучка. И вот эту касцену нельзя пропустить. И мы ждем, пока все диалоги пройдут. На английском они были бы быстрее. И очередные комментарии. Донаты.
Bobby, let's wax lyrical with each other for a good 2-3 minutes. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I feel like this is going well so far.
Yeah, so about the English dub, because I've been playing this in English.
Если хотите узнать, почему в какой-то момент у Якудзы не было английской озвучки, послушайте английскую озвучку самой первой оригинальной Якудзы на PS2. Это гений актерского мастерства. А потом послушайте, как сами японцы пытались сделать английский в Якудзе 3. Ару. Окей, got it.
What do
Ну,
you call it when Yagami moves a radiator? A heat move. What do you call
ну,
an
типа того,
encyclopedia
да.
of Yakuza recovery items?
В
A
общем,
Samanan
где-то
deck. Looking forward
лет
to seeing
10
Froob
эта
destroy
студия
Dread on
не
the Yakuza
делала
game. Put my
английских
donation
озвучек,
for
хотя
the
выпустила
Gauntlet
очень
Boss
много игр
Rush.
за
So,
10
Boss
лет,
Rush,
включая
how are we
различные
doing on
спин-оффы.
that? We have
И
over
начиная со
$17,000
спин-оффа
raised out of
про...
$100,000. Hey, if I gotta raise
Ой,
more
не
funds
Берсеркера, а
to
как
get
же
that
это аниме
$100,000 for that
называется,
Gauntlet Boss Rush, I
которое
will do it, and I will make
«Ты уже
Froob
мертв».
groan on
Чат,
screen.
подскажите,
I'll
пожалуйста.
sit through them happily.
Как же она
Yeah, Gauntlet
называется?
Boss Rush is where you'll see the
Что-то там,
most,
Северная звезда.
vastly different combat in this game because certain fights actually
Нет.
restrict you to either one style,
Нет.
either Crane, Tiger, or Snake, and
Нет,
some of the
нет,
fights
как же она
actually give
называется?
you either like all
Да,
of the
Кулак
skills,
Северной
a few of the
звезды.
skills,
Они
or the
сделали
skills
про
at
эту
all. All
игру
the fights in
на
the
основе
boss are
движка Якудзы.
fantastic to watch.
Это
Hey,
была
if you wanna
первая
carry
игра,
on, I need to fix my headset
которую
a
они
little bit
официально
because I
перевели
can't
на
really
английский.
sound.
И тогда английский у них был еще такой
We
сырой.
don't want that. All right.
Но с каждой
So,
игрой,
we have a
Judgment,
$100
Like a
donation from
Dragon,
Marcus, who
второй
says,
Judgment,
been a fan of
они
Froob since his
очень
Yakuza
хорошо
2
улучшали
2
свой
run.
английский.
This past year, my dad was
В
diagnosed with
плане
colon cancer.
перевода
His
и
due out
озвучки.
for his surgery was yesterday.
Перевод
This
всегда был
is
хороший
for
в
him
Якузе,
and
но
for
озвучка
that
качала.
Gauntlet Boss Rush.
А вот
Thank you so
Lost
much,
Judgment на
Marcus.
самом деле она
All
очень
our
хорошая,
thoughts
так
are with
что
you
не
and your
канон,
family
ну
on
как
that.
сказать,
Good luck
вполне себе
to your
канон.
dad.
Yes, indeed.
You want
Thank
me
you
to
all
keep
very
going?
much. Thank you very much for the congratulations.
Мы все еще ждем, пока пройдет этот диалог.
One more in. All right, so we have a $100 donation from Eggplant Wiz saying Froob is amazing with the Yakuza series. His commentary takes already great games and makes them that much more interesting.
Мы очень долго ждем, потому что он разговаривает на японском, вместо того, чтобы говорить на английском. Ой, на английском это бы давно закончилось.
This is such a long bit in Japanese.
How about this $50 donation from Penguin Spy saying Froob is the reason I started playing the Yakuza games, so of course I had to donate during Lost Judgment. Good luck on the run, and let's get that boss rush.
Берем такси до Корейского района.
Basically, what that whole tutorial about was the Buzz Researcher. It's kind of like a social media, like Twitter, blog, etc. Also, on Japanese, you have more actual tutorials to skip through there that I wasn't expecting. So, if you saw me flustered for a second there, it's because I really wasn't expecting some of those cutscenes to come up. But
Находим местного человека-арахнида и ползем за ним. Нам нужно его спасти, пока он не упадет. Паркурим.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna climb up here, and if I can get the right amount of movement
Спасаем
here, I
этого
should be able to go
дурака.
straight up. Yes, perfect, good.
Он говорит нам, что он смотрел за
I'm
птицами.
gonna keep heading up
Но
to
мы
the
ему не
very
верим.
top. My earphones are breaking again. What's up with me and getting tech issues during my GDQ runs? So he claims he's here for bird watching. Bird watching. Bird watching. I don't think those
Ой-ой,
belong
промахивается
to
много.
you, my dude. So, this guy's actually a pain in the backside because he can knock you down to the ground. So, we are going to hopefully have him go the right direction. Little misstep there, but it's fine. This should... Oh, of course you dodged. Please don't knock me to the ground. Thank you. If he knocks me to the ground, that's a pain because I don't have any way to get up off the ground just yet. I'll be getting it in the next fight. But every single one of our detective tools that we'll be picking up, those will give us... We'll have a little bit of a tutorial over all of those.
Возвращаемся в
There's one
агентство.
detective tool that I guarantee you, chat, you will all absolutely love. And we'll get into that in the next chapter. Is the next chapter or is it chapter 5? It might be chapter 5. I might be wrong on this one. Can't remember. But we're going to head back to Yokohama 99 and we're going to wait out the time until we can go and meet Sawa at Prague. The game introduces you the side cases from that
Едем в
one.
центр города.
Pretty much like the original Judgment, you get introduced to a couple of side
И
cases
нам
that
нужно
are
встретиться
mandatory.
с Савой Сенсей в баре.
I was right. I don't know why I don't trust myself for that menu. It's always that menu that I don't trust myself on.
Бар называется
I
Плаг.
know it's six. It's always six down. And the one after
И
is
на нас
just
нападает
six
мафия
up.
китайская, Лиманг.
So we're gonna head over to
И они
Prague.
носят вот
Remember
такие
when
интересные
that
масочки.
kid earlier was sprouting off nonsense about knowing the Lumang Mafia? Huh.
Покупаем
Here
буст
comes the
атаки
Lumang Mafia.
и покупаем
So, we're gonna get a couple of upgrades
прием,
in this
который нам
phase.
позволяет
As I said,
вставать
we are gonna
с
get
земли,
that
если
bonus
нас
skill,
свалят.
but we're gonna start off with, of course, getting attack level 3.
Раздаем
We're gonna
всем
go over to
чарджи.
that Tiger Star, and we're gonna be getting Rising Blow. This is the attack that gets us up off the ground.
Очень
We're gonna
хороший файт.
start with getting my damage up. We're gonna start on you. We're gonna hope that the guy who's on 1 HP will eventually get up and come back over to us. This is a very good start. Oh my goodness, that's a good fight. That's a very good fight.
Пока мы дрались, Сава Сенсей, какая-то женщина, дала фотку Микашибы. чувак, которого нашли мертвым в начале игры. И встречаем лучшего персонажа в Lost Judgment. Увана. Здесь он, в принципе, нам не проблема до этой катсцены. Здесь он видит, какие приемы мы используем, и начинает нас копипастить. Включаем hit mode. Даем ему комбо. Charge, charge, charge. Уворачиваемся от Мортала. Еще Mortal, Dodge, контратака.
So as you saw there, that's kind of what I was saying earlier, in that enemies become invulnerable during their EX moves. We can't actually do anything about it, which is a shame. Now, Kumano is actually well known here in a Jin show. He actually does odd jobs, kind of like Yagami does. And Tsukumo and Sugura.
Кувано, на самом деле, очень популярный человек в Йокохаме, потому что он типа как Ягами. Тоже детектив, у которого не основная эта работа. Если он дает туториал с экстрактами, это что-то вроде интересных бустов. Нам дают экстракт нападения воина, который на самом деле очень сильный. All of these you see here, all the ingredients you need to make it. So the ingredients that you need to make extracts in Lost Judgment are way higher than the ingredients you need for the extracts in OG Judgment. But they're all stronger as a result. Предметов для крафта во втором Judgment нужно намного больше, чем в оригинальном Judgment, но также сами эффекты стали намного сильнее. So we do not have the ability to be able to go and get them during this run. Which is a bit of a shame. So we're going to head back, we're going to speak to Tsukumo, we're going to basically collate our thoughts. We're going to assume that the photo of Mikoshiba and Liumang are... Мы предполагаем, что фотка Митошибы и китайской мафии связаны между собой. Еще время для донатов.
Yeah, we've got a $50 donation from Psychofish saying throwing in another $50 toward the boss rush and a chance to win that Sega Mega.
Пока что категория Gauntlet Boss Rush всего лишь на 17 100. Да, это тот же самый чувак. Он главное лицо в Якудзе спидранинга, скажем так. Патриарх спидранинга Якудзы. As well, so $50 minimum donation gets you to that, and put it toward the Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive.
Monkey Ball is also a fantastic game. Fantastic run of that earlier in the week as well. So, unfortunately, Sour is going to be less than receptive to
Froob очень хороший товарищ.
Watanabe from the Kanagawa PD coming. Everyone now knows that Mikoshiba has been murdered. So, что если где-то ран Якудзы, то, скорее всего, это он делает на Есе или на ГДК. Again, easy to remember because it should be 6 down and 6 up, but for some reason the first one I keep getting confused about. Now let's talk about the rules of the skateboard, because this is a good time to do that. As you can see, there's a fight spawn to the left. When you're on the skateboard, it doesn't stop fights from spawning, but when you're on the skateboard, it stops fights from aggroing.
Скейтборд в этой игре не останавливает спавны противников, но когда вы на скейтборде, они не могут заагриться на вас, поэтому нельзя получить из-за этого рандомный бой на улице, что очень хорошо.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting one. We got $5 donation from J. Jonah Jameson. And he said,
донат от Джей Джона Джеймса из Спайдермена. Достань мне фотки арахнид человека.
That says Froob is an amazing streamer and runner. Watching him is simply magic, and he's cheered me up on some of my worst days. Much love to him and everyone watching GDQ. Let's make this the greatest GDQ ever. Donate, donate, donate. Yes, and donate to that Gauntlet Boss Rush. We have crossed the $18,000 barrier, heading towards 100,000. We don't have that much time left. We only have like a couple hours left.
I will warn you all that if the estimate says 3 hours, that's incorrect. It's going to be about 2:35.
Не знаю, у меня вроде не лагало.
Should probably mention that. So we're going to enter into the crime scene. This is
Находим место, где убили Миташибу.
This is how the firefighters are able to find the
Находим его кровь.
blood. Now, while we're investigating, here comes Watanabe. We're going to show
И к нам приходит Ватанаби, которого мы встретили в школе.
So we're going to work together on this. We're going to ask a couple of things like the time of death. The important thing for the time of death is the time frame indicates that Ihara.
Ну, кстати, любая консоль не вывозит Якудзы. В Якудзе 6 они сделали новый движок, который называется Dragon Engine. Это тот, который вы видите сейчас. И на PS4 эта игра не могла запустить эту игру в 1080p. По-моему, Якудза 6 на PS4 игралась в 900p, что очень плохо. И ее пока что не ререлизили для PS5, так что на консоли она все еще играется в 900p. Но зато сейчас все Якудзы есть на ПК, кроме, что обидно, Judgment'а, потому что Judgment очень хорошие игры. Пинаем мячик в бегущего человека, даем ему хороший стан.
The nice thing about the chase sections is that between every single run, it's always the same.
Да, в Якудзе всегда было много интересных механик. Нужно быть осторожно не попасться на край машины и край моста, иначе гейм-овер.
But thankfully, as you'll see here, we're going to get our suspicious man, whose name is Akaiki, down to 1 HP, and he's not going to stop just yet. That's because his first stopping point is around the corner. And there you go. His second one is actually a bit.
Не может быть эпилог. Не может быть. Серия Якудза это вполне себе дешевые игры в том плане, что они очень много используют всего, чего только можно из предыдущих игр. Реюз целого города это нормально, на самом деле. Потому что Йокохама в 3 раза больше Камурочо. И просто не использовать ее, ну, грех. Нет, Соларис как раз таки Йокохама по своим размерам и местам, куда можно сходить, в 3 раза больше Камурочо. Доказано экспертами. With the skateboard, there is an entire school story set with the skateboard. You can do tricks and stuff. This skateboard is actually really cool. Если мы рассказываем, что в школе также есть кружок по скейтбордингу, который очень веселый. This is the car we want. First person, get the detector out. And the story is going to throw us a whole bunch of money. С чего-то вдруг нам дают 50 тысяч йен. И теперь мы найдем фургон с снарягой. А, ты правильно. We want to get ourselves the battle boxes S, which are attack 15%, the safety belt, which is attack plus 5%, and the EX power booster, which boosts our attack during EX by 20%. You can understand what's going to replace the wristbands now. So, we're going to get a call from Sayori. It's very clear at this point that Ihara's case over in Kamurocho and Seiryu High Понимаем, что дела в Камурочо и дела из Йокохамы связаны между собой. Ну, кстати, можно посмотреть, что Якудза использует один и тот же город на протяжении уже 15 лет. Все-таки они Камурочо развивали в множестве способов. В 4-ке они добавили вертикальность городу, добавили целую... подземелье. А в шестой части добавили очень много интерьеров. Так что город не стоял на месте в любом случае.
So glad to see the Judgment Crew getting represented on AGDQ, donating $101 in honor
Здесь
of
мы
the
исследуем
#1 hero
метрополитен
Ichiban.
на
Cat
предмет
jams in the
камер,
chat for Soma's theme, and let's
видимо, для
see that
получения
boss
доказательств.
gauntlet. And we have a $25 from
Но
$25
могу вам пока
donation
что
from
рассказать очень
Anonymous.
грустную
It
историю,
says, "Hi
почему
everyone,
эта
Froob
игра
is
не
one of my
выходит
favorite
на
speedrunners,
ПК.
and I love Yakuza games, so naturally I
Потому
have to donate.
что
Good luck to all the
актерское
speedrunners, and let's get
агентство
that gauntlet boss rush."
чувака, который
And
играет Ягами,
$25 donation from
не
Sonic
помню
Kick,
его имя,
saying,
на
"Let's
самом
go
деле.
Froob," giving some
В
support
общем,
from the
это
Yakuza
агентство
community and a
не
fellow
хочет,
friend.
чтобы
Go
игра
shoot the truth
выходила на
faster
ПК,
than everyone. And get this, we
потому
have gotten
что,
20% of the way
цитата,
there. We
Ягами
just crossed
могут
the
замодить так,
$21,000
что это
barrier
будет
towards
какой-то
that
толстый чувак.
$100 gauntlet boss rush. Remember,
Это их
select that
причина, почему
incentive
они не
when you
хотят
donate over
выпускать игру.
gamesdonequick.com/donate.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you all. So, as you can see, we've routed out the path that Ihara took, and as you can probably see, there's a blind spot. There is a bar where the cameras cannot see. That
Да,
is,
да, реальная
would you
история.
believe, going to become very important. So,
Но
guys,
что смешно,
we've now helped them out. We're going to go
есть
back
один
and see
японский
with
мододел,
Sawa-sensei, who is
который
finally
может
going to
модить
spill the beans. She's finally going to actually talk to
PS4,
us about
видимо,
what happened.
какой-то
So Sawa's
хакнутый.
gonna mention
И есть видосы того, где
an old classmate,
Ягами
Mitsuru
можно заменить на
Kusumoto,
вообще кого угодно.
who, back when she was a student at Kurakara Academy, actually
Да,
jumped
это бред,
off the
но
roof after
это их
being
причина,
severely
почему они не
bullied
хотят
and has been
выпускать
in a
игру на
coma for
ПК.
about 13 years.
Разговариваем с Сава-сенсей.
We've also been told at some point, she's also going to tell us the teacher at the time resigned because of public
Она
backlash.
рассказывает нам
The teacher at
об
the time
учителе,
basically said to the
который
kids,
вышел из
"Don't
этой
push it
школы
too
из-за
hard,"
какой-то
which,
драмы
not
Твиттера.
a good teacher. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave here via the lift. By going down via the sets of stairs, we have to go through 2 doors to get to the outside. So we might as well just use the lift because actually it's actually faster. There's only 2 times when using the lift.
Первый раз, когда лифт быстрее, чем лестница.
Now, at one point, Sawa mentioned that Mikushiba was a perfect student and she didn't think he was like.
Да, на самом деле, отмазка очень странная. Потому что Sega бы с радостью перевыпустила бы эту игру на ПК, потому что Якудза на ПК продается очень хорошо. И эта игра продалась бы еще лучше. И здесь нам дают Сиба Ину. Детектив-собака. И она также может нам помогать в бою.
We are going to follow Rampo, and we're going to find a small little case where a poor lady has left her child with an orphanage and has gone off because Yakuza dirty dealings. You know the drill. But with Rampo, we're going to hunt them down and we're going to solve the case. Now, there is good news and bad news with Rampo, I'm afraid. The good news is, and you've probably seen it in the marketing for this game, Rampo has an EX attack. The bad news is it's really hard to pull off, especially in a speedrun.
У нас есть хорошие и плохие новости. Хорошая новость — это то, что с этой собакой есть хит-экшен. Плохая новость — этот хит-экшен очень трудно затриггерить.
But unfortunately, in the actual run itself, it's really hard to get those status ailments outside of large lads whom you've heard me discuss.
Опять же, раздаем всем чарджи.
Or a boss called Akutsu, who you will see very soon.
Да, это Сиба.
Was not expecting that to hit. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Very, very good stuff. That fight can be a pain because you see those green fences on the left. Sometimes you can have one of the enemies actually walk behind it, and they will take all the time that they want to run all the way back around.
И опять же получаем 50 тысяч просто из ниоткуда.
Rampo is Amasawa's dog, but the law of possession. Rampo's gonna stay at our detective agency. Rampo's now out.
Теперь эта собачка наша.
Rampo's our dog now.
Сгоняйте с ней на работу один раз, и теперь она ваша. Так работают вещи в этой игре.
Rampo despawns enemies. Rampo's the best. So Rampo can actually despawn enemies if we need an enemy.
Собака может деспавнить врагов, что очень полезно.
In the original Judgment, the only thing you could use was your drone. In this game,
можно использовать дрон или собаку для деспавна.
We're gonna go get some information from Tsukumo, but unfortunately, we're gonna get attacked by the Liu Mang Mafia. Once again, this chase section is very vitally important. If we do the early parts correctly, we can avoid using one of the kicks later on. So once again, we're gonna be a good footballer and hit some kind of insane shots. Like,
У нас опять же нападает китайская мафия Лиман. И по сути он нас сейчас заманивает в свой район.
Who donated $25 saying, shout out to the best detective in Lost Judgment, Ranpo, the detective dog. I've been holding on to that one the whole run until we met Ranpo. We also have a $50 donation from Katamari with a CAT saying, how many detectives does it take to change a light bulb? Just Yagami, but he needs to find the buzzword keyword to start the side quest first. Good luck with the run, Froob. And we have a $15 donation from Mike Death Ibarra that says, we may have lost the Yakuza games in GDQ for the time being, but we sure haven't lost judgment to donating towards such a great cause. Best of luck to everyone, and may you have a great rest of AGDQ. And hey, we've gotten over $22,000 for that gauntlet boss rush. We got to get $100,000 in the next hour and a half or so, something like that. So go ahead and get those donations in gamesdonequick.com/donate. Be sure to select the incentive.
Yeah, pretty close to that. So because we've done everything correctly so far, the guy in the white mask ahead of us actually is on low enough HP that we can avoid this kickable bucket. This is going to make the next bit potentially a little bit faster. There's going to be a bit where we have to jump down in a second. If we get the right angle and a good run-up, we can actually clip on to him a little bit and stop ourselves from staggering.
Много не получилось сделать маленький скип, где у нас бы не было анимации падения.
This is Tesso. The Liu Mang Mafia. And again, if you played Like a Dragon, you'll remember the Liu Mang Mafia. So,
да, почему-то он кричит «Ря!». Может быть, он рэпер. И у нас Тесса, главарь лиманской мафии. У него такое крутое динамичное интро. Поменяем нашу снарягу на свежекупленную. А, у нас есть пояс, перчатки и труханы. Покупаем тройной финишер, еще буст дамага. И также покупаем скилл. Если у вас маленькое количество хп, то вы будете дамажить еще больше. Полностью уничтожаем Тесса, контратака, и он готов.
Ooh, nice. So I go into my EX there intentionally to get a bit more damage with the EX power booster. That's the reason why we bought it. So, we're going to start this fight again with the guy on the right. We're going to do this charge attack to get our damage.
И теперь нам надо всех делать в одно комбо. Один улетел.
Ooh, very nice. Ah, it's a shame. He got pushed back because of the other body. That's a shame.
Теперь нам надо как-то сбежать из китайского района. К нам присоединяется наш дружок Кайта и Хувана. Сначала убираем чувака с ножом. Бывает, Лапа, бывает. Все нормально.
Shame. If I could have got the hit on this, it would have been nice, but well, it's fine. Yeah, give me lots of running up against the walls. You can actually get a couple of wall running.
Используем прыжок от стены, чтобы скипнуть лестницу.
Charge, one go behind me, and hopefully hits this guy. Just missed. If the motorbike hadn't been there, we would have been able to do it. So, even though we're going into a different phase of this fight, we should still have, as you can see via the glow on me, the white glow, I should still have the attack buff on from doing the Tiger Charge attack. So I can just go straight into my EX and hopefully take out most of Yang's HP.
Кстати, интересный факт. Эта игра использует настолько много мувсетов из предыдущих игр, что каждый второй мини-босс в этой игре использует мувсет главного босса из Якудзы 0. А другая половина использует мувсет Куза из Якудзы 0, которым вы там деретесь раз 5. Это прям синдром Dragon Engine. Почему-то вот эти два мувсета они используют просто бесконечно. Представьте, что вы крутой босс в игре, вам рисуют 3 разных мувсета, чтобы их просто потом переиспользовали в каждой игре. Вот тебе и уникальность.
Oh wait, Camarocho. How did I forget? How did I forget? This is where the game starts opening up. How did I forget about the Kamurocho part? So, the next day,
Гоняем
we're
обратно
gonna head
в
back to
Камурочо.
Kamurocho. We head back to Kamurocho, and we're gonna find that a couple of thugs, a couple of ex-Yakuza, walking around. They're looking for someone with long hair and glasses. Now, these guys are a member of a group called RK. I'm not going to go too into details, but RK turned up after the events of Yakuza Like a Dragon. I don't have any.
Идем в Камурочо, мы находим гопников, которые ищут кого-то с длинными волосами и очками. Точно, в начале файта нет X-хита, поэтому нам придется его немножко набить. Хороший бой.
Nice, good fight. Almost not a good fight. Kaito grabbing the guy there could have put me in a bad position, so I'm kind of glad he didn't. But we're gonna meet in the cutscene a character called Akutsu.
В этой катсцене мы встречаем Акуцу, одного из главарей банды, которая называется RK. Что означает RK, мы узнаем позже. Пока что мы знаем, что это один из бывших офицеров тот же клана, который уже распался.
We're finally gonna go and talk to Ihara. We're gonna go with Saori. Kaito's just gonna be like, listen, I ain't doing that lawyer stuff. You're the lawyer here. Fair enough, Kaito. So, we're going to show Ihara a specific piece of evidence, which is the Mikishiba alive photo, or before his death. And Ihara's going to go on a very long rant. Again, it's one of those things that I can't sum up well in a speed run of this speed. In that he's going to go on a big rant about the judicial system and how, obviously, the justice system failed him and failed his son. And that's going to be very important for his motivations in this game. We're going to head back to the Yagami Detective Agency, where we're going to have gotten an email from Tsukumo. Mikoshiba's murder footage has leaked onto the internet, and the killer is Ihara.
Здесь нам присылают письмо на почту, в котором содержится видос того, как убивают Микошибу, и убийцей оказывается Ихара, как раз таки его отец. И все становится очень запутанным.
I get a long bit of cutscenes here again. Again, the trouble with the commentary for this is it's going to be a bit rough. Oh, hey, fight spawn.
Спавн врагов не проблема, собака исправит нас от спавна.
Detective dog. That good boy.
Собака нам диспавнит врагов, отпускаем ее.
Unfortunately, we are going to recall Rampo immediately, but look at that good boy. What a good lad. So, we're going to meet Mafuyu here. She is a member of the prosecution. May or may not have been romantically involved with Yagami in the past, go play judgment. So, the prosecution, Tsukumo believes that the footage is real. We're going to start a theory that the groping incident was a setup, by the way. We're going to show the map. If ever you're in doubt about what to show on the map, what evidence to show, just show the map. It's always the map. But the prosecution...
Что-то там про судебные дела, я об этом не сильно разбираюсь, извините. Ну, в общем, возможно, видос фейк, а может и не фейк. Вот теперь нам надо это понять.
Whilst most people think that it's a deep fake, we don't believe that it is. For this fight, we're going to do a very quick level up.
Очередной буст атаки.
Attack level 4, so just straight into our attack and level 4. Yep, just enough. You can sometimes be down a little bit of skill points for this fight for attack level 4. If so, you want to get it after this fight. Hopefully the guy with 1 HP will come over here, because this is a good setup over here by Kaito.
И Кайто не добил чувака с 1 хп, к сожалению.
I love just doing the slide attack. It's just you just style.
Но зато он кинул ящик с пивом. Видите, даже после киптокинга у нас есть пиво.
With RK constantly hounding us here in Kamurocho, we're going to go and find their quotation marks secret hideout, and we're going to go and try and get them to stop harassing us. Now, in this bit here, all of the fight spawns are actually fixed.
Здесь важно взять, точнее, зайти за угол под правильным углом, иначе мы затриггерим файт.
Because Kaito is ex-Tojo clan, he's going to go and speak with Akutsu. Now, unfortunately, Kaito
проникаем в бар, и мы теряем Кайто. И теперь нам нужно его найти. И теперь у нас Metal Gear Solid. Мы используем коробки.
So whilst we crawl around in the vent for a little bit, Bobby, if you got any donations, again, now is a perfect time.
Ой, попью
Yes,
пока
we
что
have a
воды.
$20 donation from PLA saying, "Hey Froob, maximum respect. You're playing like an asset as always. The Judgment games deserve to be seen, and this game is a masterpiece. Whether you play it fast or slow, let's see that Gauntlet Boss Rush and Super Amon." And we have a $200 donation from Moriyoshi John saying, "Froob, it's been so amazing seeing how far you've come since the days I used to lurk in your Yakuza 3 remastered streams. This year's GDQ is especially
Пейте
important
побольше
to me as
воды,
my mom and
ребята.
brother are both
Очень
recovering
хорошо.
from cancer. So thank you again for being a lovely friend and incredible streamer. Lots of love and good luck on the rest of the run. And congratulations to your mom and brother for recovering." Speaking of that Boss Rush donation, we are almost at $24,000 out of 100,000. We're almost a quarter of the way there, y'all. Dearest Twitch chat, I believed in you from the beginning. So let's make this happen.
Поддерживаю,
And I
Ваба.
do see your
Правильно.
$5 train y'all did at 55.55. That was amazing. Let's keep that going.
Yeah, thank you all very much. Thank you all for the kind messages as well. I really appreciate it. We're gonna find this guy right here, as we've disguised ourselves as obviously the bartender. We're gonna serve him a drink, and you're gonna find that this guy has one of the weakest constitutions that you'll ever see out of anybody. I'm just gonna imagine that we put sleeping tablets or something in this drink. This is clearly just cherry juice, like, it's clearly not alcohol at all.
Попил
And he's gonna take it, he's gonna drink, and wait for it.
и уже спит.
Wait for it.
Либо этот парень очень слабый, либо Ягами кинул ему таблетку для сна.
I don't know how he's already asleep. Probably overworked himself, I
Здесь
guess.
спидран.
So,
Технологии.
this stealth section
Кидаем
here actually
монетку.
has a little bit of speed tech to it to make it go a little bit faster. So we're gonna throw a coin over here. We
Важно,
wanna watch
чтобы
out
нас
for
не
this
заметил
guy
чувачок
on the
слева,
left.
на
If
гейм-овер.
he sees us, then
Дымовая
that's gonna be a
шашка в
game
лицо
over.
этому.
Here's the pain here. The speed tech was the
Проходим
smoke bomb we got earlier.
рядом с ним.
The coin for this guy is all the way on the right over there.
Прячемся,
So using the smoke
монетка.
bomb here, we can actually just walk past him straight away, and we don't have to worry about him. Please don't turn around, sir. Thank you. I did not pick up
Собираем
the
еще
smoke
одну
bomb, which
пыль
I really need
для
for later.
дымовой
So
шашки.
grab that.
Тушим
If you use the
товарища
smoke bomb
у
against this guy,
лестницы.
it's not the end of the world. The smoke bomb will make one of the later stealth sections go a lot quicker. We won't actually see a stealth section again for quite a long time.
И мы находим Кайта,
But we're gonna
который
head up
находится
here
в
to the back
заложниках
where
у
you can see
Акуцу.
Kaito, and you'll finally get to see who Akutsu
Здесь у нас
is.
бой в трех фазах.
We're gonna do a big three-phase fight coming up here. Akutsu wants Kaito to join RK. In terms of RK, they gain their members, and depending on if they were ex-Tojo or not, they can get a better rank when they join. Ex-Tojo rank members usually join at a rank B. Akutsu says that Kaito can join at a rank
Первом,
A.
в
Now, for
первой
this
фазе
first
мы не
phase, I'm
используем
building up
наш
my
экс-хит.
EX for the rest of the fight. Kaito, thank you. I need that, man. Thank you. Hey, language. Stop that. So, for the last two phases, we have our attack
Делаем
button,
лайнап,
and we're going to start
экс-хит,
from the left-hand side.
чарджи,
We're gonna try and get
и
as many people
пытаемся
in
как
our
можно
EX
больше
burst
всех
as
попасть за один
possible.
удар.
So again, we're gonna have to react to how it
Убираем
goes.
главного с
Canadian is
ножом,
going
бита
to
и
get an EX
электрошокер.
move in the next version of the fight. Not too bad. Not too bad for how spread out that was, actually. I'm okay with that. So, last phase.
Акуцу очень силен тем, что он может просто поднимать своих миньонов одним хорошим словом.
This fight's got a couple of 1 HP barred
Могут
enemies.
бесконечно за нас драться.
Going to be going into his EX. Can I interrupt it? Nope, bad timing, so I'm just going to go away. Bye. Nice, okay. Don't usually use the mortal there, but because I was a little close to him, I decided to just make sure I
Не
wasn't going to get hit by
получилось
that.
добить его этой комбой.
Seconds. Nice, Kaito dealt with that guy quite well. I'm going to see if I can get this guy with the... Nope. If he hadn't gone down on the ground, he walked towards me maybe, but we can just do this. Nice. That was okay. That was a decent fight. I'll take that. Again, the wonderful dragon engine knocking all the furniture everywhere. Absolutely wonderful. So that's Akutsu. Again, we'll see him later. Soma turns up. Soma is the leader of RK and one of the big antagonists in the game. Again, you'll see him later on. He basically agrees and says to us that yes, RK will back down. We're going to now head back to the Gendalore office. I think this is where we're going to go and see a certain, yep, Yui Mamiya. Yui Mamiya is
Встречаем женщину,
in Ihara's groping case.
которая является обвинителем Ихары в инциденте с поездом. Рассматриваем ее семью.
And of course, as part of any good interrogation, we're going to show her footage of the grisly murder scene. I don't know why. Now, after the set piece, Soma actually confirms to us that the person they're looking for, who's called
Какой-то
Shinya
мужик по
Kawai,
имени
is
Кувая
already
умер.
dead. He actually disappeared from Kamurocho a good couple of years ago. So, we're going to head back into
Поговорим со всеми в нашем офисе и начнем строить теории. Рептилоиды существуют.
So, this is the theory. Ihara's accomplices posted the murder video. The map, because Ihara wasn't on camera the entire time. Oh, there it is. Again, the map is the big piece of
В
evidence.
общем, мы понимаем, что
was colluding with Ihara.
Ихара на самом деле невиновный.
Everything is starting to
Это все было подстроено.
So, this is going to be chapter 6. Chapter 6 is a reasonably shorter chapter. We're going to be... I don't think there's actually a fight in this chapter, if I remember rightly. So, we're going to be heading over to the school, and we're going to get into one of the big differences between OG Judgment's run and Lost Judgment's run, and one of the big reasons as to why Lost Judgment is a much better game than OG Judgment in terms of letting you play the game. I'm going to try and do something here.
Не получилось нажать кнопку
For a second.
через стену.
Okay, so what you can do, I'll try it again later on. This couch's hitbox is messed up in the original Judgment. It's way smaller than it should be. In Lost Judgment, they fixed it. We have a thing
В оригинальном Judgment у этой кровати был очень странный хитбокс, и в Lost Judgment они его пофиксили, но оказывается, что можно двигать хитбоксы некоторых предметов, начиная с Якудзы Like a Dragon.
We accidentally pick ourselves up all the DLC in the game and all the rewards for doing the gauntlet, which would cost me a minute and a half. I'll try that again. I've got one more chance to try that again later on. But yeah, that count's hitbox is now broken in a good way. It went from being broken in a
один из
bad way to
небольших
broken in a
гличей,
very
которые мы
good
можем
way.
получить в этой игре.
That's literally pretty much one of the only glitches that we get. So, Sawa Sensei, she's gonna tell us again a little bit about Mikoshima and Ihara's son.
Да, я думаю, что можно, что бы это ни значило.
So, we're going to carry on our investigation, but we're going to carry it on over in camera. Why do I keep trying to skip those every time? We're going to go carry on our investigation over in Kamurocho with the game's second playable character. Kaito, right? No, someone even more awesome than Kaito.
Теперь с чего-то вдруг мы играем за Саори.
Going to be playing very briefly. A Sayori.
И нам нужно найти участников RK.
We're going to go undercover again and try and find RK. So we're going to get a little bit of a nice throwback to the original Judgment here. We're going to meet a couple of people in Bartender. Yes, it's a bar.
Нет, тогда нельзя.
Yes, Bartender.
Бан.
Even the game is throwing puns out at this point. We're going to meet Mari here at the front. She is the cause of one of the longer tail segments in the original Judgment speedrun. Thank you very much. You're going to get something similar to, obviously, Kiwami 2's hostess section where you have to dress up Saori. None of it matters. We just get free skill points in this bit. It's great. We're now going to do a walking section down the street for about a minute. So, Bobby, if you've got any donations, now is, again, a perfect time.
Саори не умеет бегать, поэтому идем медленно. Но зато можно почитать донат.
As Froob is an amazing runner, and I can't get over how good his commentary is during the run. Greetings from donation. And we have $50 from Hot Hot Pants saying 10 tickets to the Lost Judgment donation train, please. I'm seeing your donation trains. It's helping a lot. And we have a $250 donation from
Ну да, справедливо, она еще на каблуках.
So excited to watch a Lost Judgment run. Looking forward to see if we reach the Gauntlet boss rush. Good luck on the run, Froob. If Hydrogen Pink, no, when we reach the Gauntlet boss rush. We are almost 25% of the way there.
Участников
RK $25,000 out of $100,000. We've got a little bit over an hour left. I know y'all can do it. We're also getting close to $1.2 million overall. So get your donations.
Мы опять же оказываемся в Йокохаме. Телепортируемся от школы и обратно в школу.
It's greatly appreciated. It really, really is. It's very touching again to be able to be a part of this event. This event has been.
Нет, он не связан с основной серией, потому что это спин-офф.
That's all down to all of you at home. Thank you all so very much for tuning in, donating to charity, just telling your friends that the marathon's going on. Thank you all so very much. So one of the things that just happened there is a time waiting section. There are 4 of them in the original Judgment where you have to wait 90 seconds
Это
each
да,
time.
Шерлок Холмс так не
We
смотрит.
didn't wait at all. This is why I keep saying that Lost Judgment is a fantastic game that lets you just play the game. Instead of having time waiting segments in this game, they're distance based. That's going to be important later. So if you taxi a certain distance away, you skip the time waiting section. There are also no money walls in this game like there are in the other Yakuza games or OG Judgment. This game, the best thing about Lost Judgment is
Игра замечательна тем, что игра заставляет вас играть в игру, а не просто где-то ходить и слоняться по улицам. Типа, подожди, пока пройдет время. Ну, знаете, Shenmue стайл. Здесь же такого вообще по минимуму. И даже когда это говорят это делать, мы можем просто телепортироваться на такси в определенную точку, чтобы пропустить этот сегмент и уже вернуться на наше основное задание. Ну вот видишь, Анслат, он переодевался, а Ягами становится женщиной. Это на уровень выше. Находим квартиру Сава-сенсей, но также Аркей находит и нас. И теперь у нас будет большой побег при помощи Куваны. Is one of the good chapters. It's a very, very long set piece. Akutsu's back. We call this chapter the Akutsu Gauntlet. We're now going to change up the run a little bit, and this has changed up a little bit in the last few days, so I have to be a little careful here. We're going to get Secret of the Tiger. Now, if you remember when I said earlier that every time we use, obviously, our specials with our styles, we actually get access to, like, a bonus. Like, obviously, for Tiger, as I've said, we gain access to, obviously, extra damage. With Secret of the Tiger, очень хороший бой с Акуцу.
And apply it to your other fighting styles. Nice fights. We're now mixing Crane into the run. So,
опять же, reused мувсет из Yakuza Zero. Данный товарищ Чиба использует мувсет от Шибусавы, финального босса Zero. Мувсет, который вы за ран увидите еще раз 15. И еще раз 200, если поиграете Yakuza 6 и оригинальный Judgment.
Jamming dancing emotes ready because you're about to hear one of the best tracks in the entire game, and this game is absolutely full of them. I just have to mention the word Viper. So, we're gonna tell someone to stay in her apartment. We're gonna go.
И наслаждайтесь вот этой песенкой, которая называется Fog.
Enjoy this music.
Сейчас будет очень классный дроп. Бита.
Just wait for the drop. You'll know it's coming. Nice fights. Such good music. So we're gonna try and build up our EX in this fight a little bit, and hopefully that might knock one person away.
Опять хороший бой.
Good fight again. Oh, it's a good set piece so far. Oh, it's so good. It's so good music. Now, unfortunately, this little bit of set piece doesn't last too long. Now, it's very important that you get your upgrades before this fight.
Мы сразу заставим Акуцу уйти в его вторую фазу. Получаем кат-сцену.
Nice little collateral on the enemies. Or not, because I somehow missed my third attack.
И Кувана почему-то нас кидает.
Kuvana? Is just going to leave. So,
отлично, стан Акуцу, чтобы он не сделал. Контратака его мортал-атака. А у меня 2 часа. Мы абсолютно всем раздали по роже, но боль Якудзы в том, что в катсцене мы просто получаем по роже ни из-за чего. Теперь у Акуцы есть бензопила, что страшно.
Because Jin Kuana is an alias. Kuana's real name is Yu Kitakata. And that is going to be very
И
coming up
в Якуде очень хорошие стальные стулья.
no longer has a chainsaw. I don't think this is how steel chairs work, but this is how this steel chair is going to
Что
work.
аж бензопила не разрезает их.
Always triangle for this QTE, which is nice.
И у Акуцы теперь нет бензопилы. Очень хорошо. Отлично, Акуца мертв.
Nice. Good Akutsu. Again, we built up a little bit of EX, so we're just going to use our crane start. What I'm also doing there that I haven't touched on too much earlier, you can see that I actually changed my style quickly by basically dash canceling.
Здесь можно сменять стиль со скипом анимации, если использовать додж. Кайта нам дал по роже. Мы улетели. Так. Большой парень очень сильно блокирует наши атаки.
Very, very not useful, Kaito. Yes, you can get attacked by your party members as well. They do no damage, but yes, they knock you to the ground.
Мы столько всего хорошего про Кайта наговорили, и он вот так вот нам дает по роже ни за чего.
So, Sarai is going to relay a bit of information back to us. She actually relayed it back earlier. Shinikoi disappeared 5 years ago by 10 different people. Which makes us a bit suspicious. Now, unfortunately,
мы возвращаемся в квартиру Савы Сенса и, к сожалению, узнаем, что ее убил человек по имени Сома.
So we're gonna have to check through the crime scene real quick, and we're gonna do something very arrogant that not many detective lawyers are gonna do. We're gonna get pointed towards the Kurakawa Academy yearbook, and like any good lawyer and detective, we're gonna desecrate the crime scene and take the yearbook with us.
И она была убита сосулькой в шею. Видимо, Сома очень много играл за шпиона из Team Fortress 2. Нет, не Сома Круз. По-моему, у этого Сомы нет фамилии. Он просто Сома.
Also, when we leave the staff office, we're gonna get a conversation with the bullies who are finally gonna go.
Помните, чуваки, буллинг — это очень плохо. Говорите друг другу хорошие слова в интернете. Пожалуйста. Возможно, возможно. И очередные донаты. Потому что мы бегаем по школе.
All right, well, we have a $250 donation from Shiro T that says, love seeing Yakuza up on the GDQ stage, putting this toward the Boss Rush incentive so we can enjoy a little more of Sega's unending war on broken bones. And we have a $50 donation from KO Dojo Crow that says, I got into the Yakuza series because of Froob's Yakuza 6 run last year and the Rugby Baby incident.
Плохой лапа.
Thank you so much for introducing this ridiculous franchise to so many new people. We have to make this Boss Rush incentive. And we have $250 from The Lawful Geek saying, had to donate during Froob's run. Amazing commentary as always. Good luck with the rest of the run. Let's make that Boss Rush happen. How are we doing on that Boss Rush? We've
Пока что у нас 26% на Gauntlet Boss Rush, 27%.
This time, gamesdonequick.com/donate. I got it right that time. Thank you so much for pointing that out. We got.
Извините, я близко был.
Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive after you put in your donation amount.
Здравствуйте, Кир X2.
Varied combat in the Boss Rush Gauntlet. If it gets met, you actually have a couple of infinite combos and a lot of style swapping that we actually do for those infinite combos. So, we're now going to try and figure out who really is Jin Kuana.
Теперь же нам нужно выяснить, кто на самом деле такой Кувана.
Thanks to Help Sukuma, we're going to go and find that Jin Kuana lives pretty nearby, actually. So, this is a little area. You'll see this little hut here. This bit actually isn't in. This is the nice thing in RGD games. This hut here, which is Jin Kuana's home, that's not actually there in Like a Dragon. It was added in the map on this game. You can actually walk up there in Yakuza Like a Dragon. There's an item drop there. But interestingly enough, we find on the door here that Kuana's house has been broken into. So, We need to find some clues on Koana. There's an ashtray on the table.
Здесь мы находим очень интересные улики.
And next to his bed is cigarettes, which is even more double
Мы находим
weird when
пепельницу
Koana
и
fakes.
сигареты в квартире Кувана, в
We look
которую
at the
кто-то
lighter.
ворвался.
The lighters are
Но это
USB.
подозрительно, ведь Кувана
Unfortunately,
вейпит.
waiting outside is of course RK. I will also say for the future of the run, even
Здесь
though
большой
I'm
парень
calling him,
использует
although
мувсет
his name is obviously Kitakata, for the sake
мужика
of the
по
story,
имени
we'll just
Канай
refer him
из
to
Якудзы
Koana
5.
until obviously it's necessary for the story.
Видите, насколько Риус в этой игре бешеный, что игра 2021 года использует мувсет из 2012 года.
And it's definitely been a bit hard to do my usual commentary around it. The end of the game, the last couple of chapters are going to go very usually.
Здесь очень трудно пояснять лор, потому что нужно 20-минутную кассцену пояснить за 15 секунд.
We learned that Koana has an uncle here in the city, an ex-Seiryu Yakuza member.
Да, нет, просто японцы ленивые.
So we're gonna head over here and try and get some
Заходим в бар,
We're gonna find the place.
находим телефон, который звонит,
The phone's gonna go off. And unfortunately for Kaito,
и находим Сому, который ранит Кайта,
this is Viper.
и послушайте саундтрек Сомы.
You'll ever hear. And it's a shame because you won't get to hear much of it in the main story. It is absolutely fantastic, as is this fight. Soma here. He very much
По сути, Сома — это стиль змеи, который есть у вас, ведь он контрит практически все, что вы делаете. Доджим каунтер. Пытаемся жонглировать. X-hit mode.
We're going to try and burst him down as much as possible. This is not too good so far. I'm just going to start my burst damage.
Контратака. И Сома почти готов. Сколько я знаю, Сома немножко плохой парень. В том плане, что у него есть атаки, где он не просто вас дамажит, а именно что делает анимацию на вас, и это может полностью прикрывать ваше комбо.
Viper is one of the best fight themes RGG has ever put out. I could do a 20-page essay on how good this fight theme is. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, in the cutscene afterwards, we lose the fight. So, thankfully, Koana's uncle does save us. He calls Soma, or he calls the bar and says, "Get out of my bar." And basically, he calls the ambulance for Kaito. We're going to go and meet with Koana's uncle in a little bit. You will hear more of Soma's theme later on. Don't worry about that.
Едем в бар выживания, который на самом деле было нашим основным местом для тусовки в Якудза Like a Dragon. Здесь же все тот же бармен. И теория, что бармен из этого бара — это Кашеваги из серии Якудза, который вроде как умер в Якудзе 3, но на самом деле он живет здесь как бармен. На нас в очередной раз нападает Тесса, главарь белой маски в китайской мафии.
Tesso hits harder. I keep forgetting about Tesso. We're going to have to fight Tesso first, so I'm going to go straight to my EX and hopefully get to Tesso in a full combo. If I can do that, we can go into the second phase of the fight. Good hit. I was a bit worried. The nice thing about your attacks in your EX mode is they have a slight bit of AoE to them. Hence why we can take out multiple enemies and why sometimes you'll see me take out enemies that are behind me.
Пока Тесса находится в этой анимации, он неуязвим, поэтому пока что разбираем его миньонов. Приходит подкрепление.
Maybe not this telegraph pole, but everything else is. Hitting Tesso again is going to cause more enemies to show up. If I can be fast enough here, and it's quite tight timing, I can stop Tesso from using his EX. If he does use his EX, it's fine. We're just going to cancel that. Now, as you can see there, the nice thing is your actual EX attacks, your mortal reversals, they can actually do nice little
Опять же, хороший бой.
Depending on the style that you're in, depends on the kind of attack that you get. Nice fight.
И за то, что мы дали Тесса по роже, теперь он наш лучший друг. Опять же, как Якудза работает.
Tesso now refers to us as Anarchy. We're now best friends. So, we're going to look at the video on the USB drive. And as I said, this is not a nice video. This is a video from a good 13 odd years ago. where it's from Kurokawa Academy. The person here is Shinya Kawai. The date confirms this was actually just before Mitsuru Kusamoto tries to commit suicide. This is Yui Mamiya. This is Akike, or Kaiki even. And this is the unfortunate Mitsuru Kusamoto, who is currently in a coma. Mitsuru Kusamoto's mother is Reiko Kusamoto,
позитив.
the Vice Minister of Health, and if you
Как минимум, здесь никто никогда не умирает от пули.
not a title you want in these games.
Даже если их много. Потому что пуля делает всего там что-то 2% от твоего хп. Редко кто от пули умирает. Да и умирают здесь по очень тупым обстоятельствам.
Everything is now starting to tie together. Jin Kuwana went under an alias and went underground, and he's now trying to get revenge on the bullies. Jin Kuwana is not as nice a person as he's made out to be in the initial beginnings. So, we're going to now go on the attack, because we know that Yui Mamiya...
Ой, Каруда, тихо, это спойлер Якудза 4.
We're going to go and speak to Yui Mamiya. That's going to go really well. So we're going to meet up with Sugiura. And I'm hoping that I have a little bit of EX left over from the last fight. If I do, this fight is going to go a lot quicker. I don't think I do, though, because I think I ended it in the EX. The grouping was orchestrated, as we theorized, and we're going to show her the bullying video, at which point her personality is going to flip 180, and she's going to call in a couple of friends. That guy in the middle looks a little familiar, doesn't he? These are the same people that
нападают другие маски.
earlier.
Видимо, чуваки стащили их от Джима Керри. Да в том-то и дело, что даже в катсценах от пули не умирают. Даже там. Поэтому нереально умереть от пули. Возвращаемся в Камарочо, берем такси до нашего агентства.
Basically, Yui Mamiya was approached 5 years ago, around the same time that Shinya Kawai disappeared, and she was shown a video by Kuwana, the bullying video. We basically get confirmation at this point that Kuwana is using the bullying video as leverage over all of the bullies who caused Mitsuru Kusamoto to try and commit suicide. So they're all the ones that are helping him commit all these revenge attempts against the bullies.
И мы узнаем, что Куана, хоть он и борется с буллерами, на самом деле он убил где-то человек 7, и нам нужно поймать его. Да, правильное заявление, Ансват. Нельзя умереть, если ты снял рубашку. Это правильно.
It's not something that can be easily summed up in a speedrun, I'm afraid. So, this chase section is very, very important not to miss a single.
Грустный факт о Джаджменте. Ягами не снимает свою рубашку. Свою кожанку и белую майку, к сожалению. Хотя, судя по всему, он вполне себе накачанный мужичок.
Let's get that boss rush. Yes, every cent does count. I know when you're listening to the host, to me reading donations, you're hearing a lot of $100, $250, stuff like that. But the Prevent Cancer Foundation can absolutely use even just $5.
И заметьте, как Ягами может далеко пинать ведро. И точно в Кувану. А не обязательно иметь наколку, чтобы снимать рубашку. Не обязательно. Боссы в Якудзе 4 это доказывают.
Raised out of $100,000 for the Gauntlet Boss Rush. Remember, when you are making your donation at GamesDone.
Нет, я думаю, что у него нету. У Ягами, скорее всего, нету.
And let's get this boss rush in, and let's get that $1.2 million total.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Again, everybody has done such an amazing job this week so far. So, as you can see, Kuwana obviously is going to keep running off. This car park, yes, is the same one that was featured in Yakuza 6's plot. Hey, guess what? Akike is back. So
промахи.
the angle for this is really tight. I can get these two, hopefully get Kike. Nah, it's a shame. I was gonna go to EX. Thankfully, I have a buffer of EX because I didn't use EX in the last fight. It's really
Блин, а
hard to
чё
get the
было в
right
АБА?
angle there, but look at that. That is what you can do with good positioning. Like, basically,
У меня вроде
wait,
ничего
what?
не ломалось. Я надеюсь, я тут в пустоту, как дурак, не говорил.
So, I think that was the guy I attacked at the start, actually, with the two-hit combo. What you can do with good
Вроде
positioning, which is
чуваков
really
всё
tight in that
работало.
fight, you can basically take out most of the ads with that two-hit combo, and then
А,
you just
немножко
leave yourself
плохой
right
файт
next
был.
to a Kihei to just take him out. Bit of a rough fight, not gonna lie.
И сейчас будет Дан Флора, который я, скорее всего, умру переводить.
This is time for plot dump exposition. Oh wait, no, wait, hold on. Why do I always forget about this one? Kill some time for the Gendalore office to get here, and then plot dump exposition time. So there's a little bit of weird speed tech here, whereas if we
Здесь опять же
skip this
спавнится файт,
cutscene right
но
here,
он
we get
не
teleported
затриггерится
back
на
to
нас,
where we
если у нас
were.
будет
Now the nice
скейтборд.
thing is, even though there's usually a fight spawn here, which there is, again, as long as you're on the skateboard, you can just get past them. Also, if you jump, you don't stagger off of people or enemies as well. That's a very important part of the skateboarding that I did not mention earlier. Area trigger, so we don't have to worry about them.
Рассинхрон звука и изображения, все вопросы к Даке-Даке, если он там не спит.
Inspection report and the ticketed timestamp. So, Yui Mamiya is going to pretty much confirm our theory. The person who groped Yui Mamiya on the train, because it was way too far away for Ihara to be able to do, the person who groped Yui Mamiya on the train ahead of time was Kuwana. In the blind spot of the cameras at the station, they intentionally swapped out. They basically set it all up,
Ну,
so
как
that
могу,
Ihara
чуваки, я
could get
не
away
отвечаю
with
за
murder
техническую.
on
И
his
тут у нас
sexual
получилось
misconduct.
дотронуться до хитбокса
I'm gonna drive over.
кровати сквозь стену.
Had it for a second. There we go. I
Ты
got
немножко
it.
времени.
So yeah, the character's hitbox, it's just broken for some reason. I don't know why, but it's great. That doesn't actually lose you any. That's not
Хоть
actually
и
save you
сделать
any
это
time.
нужно под
considering
очень
how finicky the angle is to
трудным
get
углом.
that without getting the DLC. So, so we show him the grisly murder, and Ihara learned the truth about Mikashiba's bullying originally from Sour Sensei. That's how he found out it was Mikashiba.
Поскольку Саори-сан лучший персонаж в игре, нам всегда нужно слушать ее во всех разговорах в агентстве. Берем такси до Йокохама.
Always listen to Saori. Always listen to Saori. She's the best. So once again, oh. Why did I get confused there? I thought I was in a Jincho. So, in that conversation with Ihara, again, it's a lot to sum up in a very short space of time. Ihara basically confirms that yes, he let slip that he did commit the murder. He's not going to confirm it in court. We are going to try and get Ihara retrialed.
Ихара нам признается, что он совершил убийство,
rather than him making a mockery of the legal
и
system.
мы попытаемся его еще раз досудить,
So,
чтобы ему уже дали срок за убийство, пока он там сидит и ржет над местной системой правосудия. Judgment. Ну, вы поняли, метафора.
We're going to go forward by a couple of hours, and we're going to get a phone call from Detective Watanabe, who wants to speak to us, but is reluctant to do so. He's not actually going to speak to us right now. We're going to go and meet up with him. Thankfully, Tsukumo is going to triangulate his position on the phone call that we get from him. He's going to be over in Chinatown.
Долгая минута скипов катсцен.
After that coming up. So now, Bobby, if you want to do a minute's worth of donations, now is a perfect time.
All right. Well, speaking of
да,
those
с
big
Новым
amounts
годом,
that
чуваки.
shouldn't ward
Сегодня же
anybody
Новый
away.
год.
$500 from Anonymous. Froob, he's wonderful. How can you not want to see more of Froob and Lost Judgment? And we have a $275 donation from Kanja Method saying nothing but love for GDQ and the staff, hosts,
Находим
commentators,
детектива
and runners for
Ватанабе
setting up this awesome
в
event
китайском
for this noble
районе,
cause that affects so many
и мы
of
как-то
our loved
разозлили его
ones.
в катсцене.
And thank you to Froob for this
И
amazing
вы
run.
можете заметить, что у него
Commentary is
горит голова
top-notch and
красным.
makes
Это
me want
означает,
to
что
grab
он
Lost
в
Judgment for myself.
ярости.
And hey, since that was a $50 minimum donation, you do
Чем
get
хорош
entered for the
Judgment,
Sega
это
Mega
то, что
Prize
они
Pack,
вернули
which has Lost Judgment and
всяческие
Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania,
эффекты
as well
врагов,
as some capsule
которые
toys,
появлялись
some
только в
pins and
Zero,
stuff like that.
но потом их
$50
зачем-то
minimum
убрали.
single donation gets you in for that during this run. How are we
У
doing?
Ватанабе
We
есть
are
Hyper
almost
Armor.
at $29,000
Как видите,
out
он
of $100,000
не
for
тянется
the
от ваших
Gauntlet
ударов.
Boss Rush.
Никогда не проваливайте этот QTE, потому что это инстакилл. Иначе мы упадем в воду, это гейм-овер. И даем Ватанаби по роже. Доджим контратаку. Очень много урона, поскольку у нас уже буст атаки левел 6, максимальный.
So I want to do that. And you'll notice that we're doing a lot more damage with our reversals now. One of the upgrades that I got there was EX Reversal Tiger, where in my EX
очень
form,
много урона
I can actually do way more damage with my reversal attacks now. So what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. That's wrong, that's 6. Again, this taxi is the other one I mess up. I don't know why. It's every single one it's this time. I keep saying to trust myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Кстати, да, в первом джаджменте есть тайгер дроп, такой же, как он и в Якудзе. Но здесь они поменяли анимацию, и она выглядит как-то скучно. Тут Ягами пытается быть сумоистом, при этом ни разу он сам не сумоист по его телосложению. Да, Линшар, потому что это город из Якудзы 7. На самом деле нам не нужна тарелка. Тут секция, кидаем монеточку, отвлекается. Еще одна монеточка. Нельзя скипнуть эту касцену. Еще одна монетка. Здесь прям коробки и монетки. Metal Gear Solid плюс Hitman. Заходим в Гомиджул. В Якудзе Like a Dragon это было пристанищем корейской мафии. Гомиджул. Но поскольку корейская мафия развалилась, то здесь уже никого нет. Опять же, включаем вид от первого лица для того, чтобы быстрее идти по лестницам. Now, thankfully, we're going to get taken out of the walking section, so we go through this door, so we'll be able to run again. We're going to be coming up against another action sequence. Run-killer момент.
This is one that usually ends my runs because it breaks in some way, shape, or form. I like these action sections, but this one upsets me. In Yakuza Like a Dragon, you go up the stairs to the left.
По какой-то причине он ломается. По таймлайну, ну, это последняя игра, поэтому таймлайн последний. Скажем так. Настоящее время. И да, это после семерки. Семерка на данный момент последняя игра в серии, и Lost Judgment происходит после себя. Поскольку, даже с учетом того, что это спин-офф, вселенная на самом деле связана, потому что тут даже в одной катсцене есть персонаж из Якудзы 7, Тиань Жао. Хоть он ничего не говорит, но у него есть одна своя катсцена. Так скажем, камео он сделал. Встречаем еще больше аркей-чувачков. Делаем чардж, экс-хит, и раздаем всем чарджи. И они же улетели с крыши. Ой, один выжил.
Yep, and we've got about 45 minutes left, just to let you know. So, the action section there, the problem with the action section there is that if you fail at any point, you go back to the very beginning, and that little jump that I did at the end there, that's one of the nastiest jumps in any of the action sections. For some reason, sometimes Yagami will just decide, I don't want to go all the way over there, I don't want the momentum, and sometimes just falls. So that's usually why I lose runs to this bit, unfortunately.
Здесь начало... Начало этого боя может быть немножко страшно, потому что здесь появляются враги с оружием. И как раз таки на данном хп чувак с пистолетом может нас ваншотить.
So again, doing my dash cancelling to make sure I can get back into the combo a bit quicker. I'm going to try and finish off this combo because I can't exactly... Ooh, nice hit. I can't get into another combo because my EXs ran out, so... I was hoping he would come around the corner, that's a shame. So I knew he had low HP, so I knew if I would connect with the first kick, I knew I could just take him out the second kick. Good fight apart from the last guy. Very good fight apart from the last guy. Nicely in that fight, Sugiura is usually the one that gets the attention and deals with the guys with the guns. Thankfully, he did here as well. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't. So, the members of Komi Jewel are actually, surprisingly enough, in Komi Jewel, and they say that Jin Kuwana is actually over with the Liu Mang and Tesso.
Вспомнился
So
файт.
we're gonna go and
Пользуем
see
собачку.
Tesso right now.
О, нельзя.
Oh, look, a fight.
Нельзя использовать собачку почему-то, поэтому достаем дрон. Это также работает.
Yes, of course. Oh, I can't get it out here. I can't get out the detective dog here. Excuse me? Where's
Не,
my Rambo?
Ичибан, конечно, не Киры, но он достойный
Why
персонаж на
can't I
самом
use
деле.
Rambo here? Excuse me? I'm upset. I want my dog.
Здесь мы
Anyway, we're gonna
базарим
have a
с
conversation with Kuwana
Тесса
as
и
well.
Куана.
We're gonna
И
pinpoint- we use
лучшая
Vice Minister
тема
Kusamoto.
в этой игре
That skips a bit
Dig
of
in Your
dialogue.
Heels.
This fight's tricky, so I'm gonna have to concentrate on this one.
Страшный файт по словам Райдера.
I need to build up my EX. This is a little worrying. Please don't react.
Чибан геймер, поэтому он relatable.
So first phase, we're going to build up our EX. Just hoping I can get him.
О, не получил задоджить мортальную атаку.
That's gonna be
Ой-ой-ой.
Just do this. It's fine. Oh, he actually caught me.
Но
My dodge timing was off.
неважно, что происходит
So
на
now you
экране,
can
главное
see the
слушать не
problems that you
музон.
have, and yeah, you
Музон
can see the
замечательный.
absolute problems with,
Ой, и Куана
obviously,
нам что-то
letting
дает
the
по
enemies
роже.
do their EX.
Окей, повезло.
If I can juggle you, I'm going to juggle you. I'm in death range. But the upside to this is now I get
И
extra
вот
damage.
Жао,
This is the scary
и это
part.
его единственная касцена в этой игре.
The last fight of this chapter. It's construction site, right? Should have. Oh, our boy Zhao. If you ever played Yakuza Like a Dragon, there's a cameo for you. Should have enough HP. It's the construction site fight.
Ну, на самом деле, что мне не нравится в Lost Judgment, и, скорее всего, это ее основная проблема, в ней крутой саундтрек, но в ней мало боссов, на которые можно накрутить крутой саундтрек. Потому что в игре, по сути, 3 основных босса. Сома, Акуца и Кувана. У Куваны 3 разных темы. Но у Акуцу, которого вы воюете, наверное, раза 4, у него одна и та же тема, и это очень скучно. И у больших боев с Аркейд тоже только одна тема, и вы просто... Вам надоест ее слушать вечно. Скучно на самом деле.
Because with Yakuza Like a Dragon, there's taxi list. You actually have to speak to all of the taxis to be able to unlock them as taxi points, which means that you eliminate some of the fluff taxis that you don't need. Sometimes I get a little confused about that.
У Тесса тоже... У Тесса уникальная тема первый раз, но во второй раз у него другая тема, и там уже не так интересно. Здесь очень важно не получить по роже, потому что у нас очень маленькое ХП. Даже с учетом того, что мы делаем больше урона на красном ХП, это все равно очень страшно. Потому что это не Якудза 6. В Якудзе 6, когда вы находитесь в хит-моде, вас нельзя убить, пока у вас есть хит-мод. Но здесь хит-мод очень занерфленный.
Oh boy. I said my commentary might suffer a little bit later on. There's a taxi ride that's about to come up. In-game cutscenes time, it's about 20 minutes long.
Они говорят, что тут где-то 30 минут касцен, и их нужно уложить в 15 секунд рассказа, поэтому читаем донаты.
That's right. We're not going to spoil this part for you. You got to play the game. We have a $20 donation from Zimp Lissy that says, love Froob and his speedruns, also the effort of all staff of GDQ. Keep up the amazing work you're doing, that you're all doing. With heart and love, Zimp Lissy. And we have $100 from Tanuki Dan saying, fantastic runner, running a fantastic game for a fantastic charity. Thanks to all the organizers and running for making GDQ possible. Let's hit that incentive to see Super Amon get super wrecked. And we have a $50 donation from Daniel S. saying, always love to see the Yakuza-verse. Or, I said it wrong. I've been trying to say Yakuza the whole time, and I reverted. I apologize. Let me start that again. Daniel S., $50 donation. Always love to see the Yakuza-verse games get the exposure and love they deserve. Thank you all for making my workday go by quickly. Good luck to all the runners this week. How are we doing on that incentive? We have crossed the
А это
$30,000
спам-боты,
barrier. We're almost to
поэтому их можно.
$31,000 out of $100,000 for that Gauntlet boss rush. And I do promise, I worked on that Yakuza pronunciation a year ago when we were starting to work together, Froob, because I had been saying it wrong my whole life, and I worked really hard, and I feel really bad that I went back and went to
Да,
the old way,
колябушка,
but
согласен.
It's hard. Japanese
Yeah.
phonetics are different. I also mess up a lot of times on names myself. I've called a Kaiki a Kike like 5 times in this game. It's like, pronunciation is hard. So, at this point, we are going to try and get the prosecution to agree to an Ihara mistrial. That guy on the right next to the dialogue box that I just picked, his name is Bando. He is a member of public security. Long story short, public security are the ones who have their fingers over Reiko. They're trying to... Reiko, being the Vice Minister of Health, has a lot of power and influence, and if public security can control Reiko, then obviously they will be able to gain a lot of influence. Now, in regards to Reiko, she was the one who contacted Kuwait.
Опять же, большой дамп лора, который я не понимаю, я не играл Judgment. Выпустите на ПК. Пожалуйста, Sega. И агентство этого актера клятого. Пожалуйста.
Big long chance in a minute. Leave it to you, Samurai-san. You're gonna get a big long chance in a minute to read off way more donations because I do not like this bit. I'm going to complain and moan about this bit if I have a chance to, so I'm not going to. So once again, we're going to go undercover as Sayori. The thing we
Нам
need to
дадут
do...
10к опыта за то, что мы просто пройдемся по улице.
skill points for walking down the street again. The worst part about this bit is we need to go undercover at the same club we went undercover in the original Judgment because we need to find out where RK are hiding. Spoilers, they're hiding in the exact same place, which makes this bit completely redundant and only serves to assassinate one person's character that they built up in the first game. So Bobby, now is a very good time for donations for us.
Я ПК-боярин. Сейчас бы покупать PS5 всякие, которые даже не тянут эту игру 4К. Проблема отсутствия на ПК в том, что чувак, которого играет Ягами, это популярный актер в Японии. И его агентство не хочет выпускать обе Джаджмента на ПК, потому что, цитата, его могут превратить в какого-то толстого чувака при помощи модов. Да, это идиотизм, но это то, что они нам говорят.
And we have a $250 donation from Milgrips saying there isn't a bad time to donate during AGDQ, but donating during Froob's run definitely is a great time, especially to help unlock the boss rush. We just had a palindrome total donation total for the whole event. It was like $1,188,881.11.
Возможно, я ошибаюсь, по какой причине они не хотят выпускать. Сейчас я найду статью об этом. Judgment, Agency.
Hey, thank you all. So, as you can see, we're back in the exact same club, in the exact same position. Nice secret hideout. So, we're going to be getting a big set of move upgrades here. One of which isn't going to look like it makes much sense. It's not going to make much sense for the fight, but it's going to be speed tech for the next chapter.
Здесь очень крутое интро с Акутса. Ладно, поищу позже эту ссылку.
Still good music, though. So that's Higashi, he comes and helps us out. He's obviously, as I said, old buddy of ours.
А зачем в Якудзах русская озвучка? Якудзы 7 сделали официальный русский перевод на субтитры. И так хорошо.
I'm going to go into my EX. I'm going to go into my skills. I'm going to be getting myself E extension free, boost gauge free. I'm going to be going up to grip gauge 1. I'm going to be going over to our abilities. I'm going to be getting EX burst dodge. And EX burst adamantine.
Куцу пытается войти в свой X-Hit мод, но мы его делаем.
We're going to start obviously hitting Akutsu once get him to his EX mode in the middle, which that should be it. Hopefully we don't get hit by that because that knocks us over and we basically stagger from it.
Что мы делаем сейчас, это мы бустим свой урон в Тигре, но мы трансформируем этот урон в кран для того, чтобы скидать больше противников, поскольку атаки крана более предназначены для раскидывания толпы. Хороший файт.
very nice fight. You essentially want to be constantly attacking. What I'm doing in these fights to basically try and keep up with these fights, I'm using a combination of seeing where the enemies are with obviously my eyes, but also using the mini-map as well. It's a very good fight. I'm very happy with that one. So, with Akutsu, we actually have a conversation with him. That's going to be the basis for everything we do in this chapter. We're going to go to Akutsu and say that RK's leader Soma, we have this little bit of a theory that he's actually working for public security. Akutsu gets really scared hearing that because apparently Soma has eyes and ears everywhere, just in case. There's that boy. Just in case I'm going to get rid of
Так,
those
Ваба,
enemies.
вопрос. Я могу
Unfortunately,
скинуть ссылку
Soma does have eyes
в
and
чат?
ears everywhere, and two people dressed up as police officers actually kill Akutsu. So, the basis of this chapter is us going to be investigating whether or not Soma is actually a member of public security.
Не-не, там
That's
просто
gonna be the basis
статья.
of the next big set piece that's gonna come up.
Вот можете,
This is the
у
penultimate
кого
chapter,
есть
by the way. We've
знание
got
языка,
about
можете почитать вот эту
35-ish
статейку,
minutes left of the run, so if you want to see some amazing
чтобы
fights
выяснить,
from the
почему
bottom of it, now's
Judgment
the time to
не
get those
запустит на
donations in.
ПК.
It's also the last time we get to hit the couch from
Но
outside
короткая
of the room.
цитата будет вот такая.
But again, as you can see, it's a lot slower if you try and get it from outside the room, so I'm
Вот
just gonna play it
такая.
safe. So, we're gonna head
Не
over
звучат.
to Charles. We are going to go and speak to Higashi, because again, Higashi is ex-Matsugami
Вот, собственно,
family, aka ex-Tojo clan.
мне не хотелось,
He
чтобы лицо
would
актера
potentially know
было
about either
в
Soma
свободном
or someone who knows
пространстве
about Soma.
на
And
интернете.
he's gonna go
Вау.
and take us
Нашли,
to,
что
or he's gonna
придумать.
go and show us to somebody called Irie, I believe, from the Nikaido Consortium. You might remember the Nikaido Consortium being mentioned a couple of times in Yakuza 0 and Yakuza K1, or Yakuza 1, I should say. He is drinking his time away over in Earth Angel, over in the good old bar district. The nice thing is, unlike K2's speedrun, we obviously have a way of dealing with enemy spawns in here. There's actually a piece of gear you can get in here. It's a little out of your way to go and get. It's a shirt that, if I remember rightly, increases your attack damage by, I believe, 20%. So the ex-Tojo
Здесь мы
officer
узнаем
there
пару вещей о
basically says a
лидере
couple things about
RK,
Soma. He wasn't ever
Соме.
really high ranking in the Tojo
Кстати, в
clan.
первом бою
I
с
know
Сомой
one
мы
person knows.
узнаем,
But
что означает RK.
he
Red
was
Knife,
able to get out of
красный
the
ножик.
Tojo. Nope. Gonna get rid of you. Don't like that. He was able to get
Да,
out of the Tojo
хорошая
clan
цитата,
just before
хорошее
the
выражение,
events
just
of
random username.
Yakuza Like a Dragon. So
Очень правильно.
Soma has some knowledge.
Но это очень жаль, что они не хотят выпускать игру на ПК, потому что это была бы сейчас одна из самых продаваемых игр Сеги. Они бы просто миллионы крутили бы с ней, если бы она была в Стиме и на Microsoft Store. Было бы просто жесть. Да, это именно она. Это наш пес-детектив.
Passcodes. So there are certain passcodes, safes, etc. that have locks on them, like this door right here. If you know the lock ahead of time, you can put in the passcode. We can turn Kaito into Ryuji from Persona 5 for a second, because he goes, for real? For real? So, this is going to be our next big action section. This is the reason why we got grit level 1.
Опять секция с ползанием по стенам, как Человек-паук, поэтому опять читаем донаты.
All right, well, we do have a $100 donation from Anna that just asked, can we start a pet Ronpo train?
Ну, Persona это скучная игра, а вот Judgment это хорошая игра.
$5 donation from Dryth that says, chat, let's get a $5 train going and get this boss rush. And
Ой, я, кажется, мнение высказал. Сейчас забанят. Сейчас Тезура придет и скажет, да что ты там сказал про персону.
How are we doing? We are over $32,000 out of the $100,000 to get.
Ой, все, в чате война, я пошел, пока.
The super boss fight at the end.
Keep going, you've got like another minute more.
Okay, so we have $25 from the Pan 2 that says had to donate during Froob's run of Lost Judgment. The Yakuza series has one of the most cozy
Последний ран был в VR
is a great one to be
в
involved with.
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
That boss rush.
Там была мега-бомба, и это был рекорд.
Looks amazing. Here's some terrible things for you, Froob. How do you win a wrestling match against a reincarnated goddess? Pin Megami Tensei. What do you call it when a Sonic game comes out at the same time each year, Chronic Mania. What do you call the thrilling tale of Yagami searching heat in negative 30-degree weather? Frost Judgment. I'll see myself out and put this towards the
Если вы
boss rush
хотите
because
узнать,
bosses are
почему у
meant
меня
to be
такое
beaten in
мнение
rapid
насчет
succession.
персон,
I learned that from
спросите у
gaming
Тезура,
management.
опять же.
Thank you so much for that.
Тезура причина, по которой я не люблю персоны. Этот нехороший человек назвал главного персонажа моим именем. И меня всю игру называли Коуч Кун. Мне это не понравилось. А по-моему, следующий раннер как раз-таки по Kingdom Hearts будет из комьюнити. А так были Деликатес, Волдемарка, Тезура, и вот следующий будет. Да что вы ржете?
Again, we do love Kaito here. Kaito is amazing.
А, еще Дан Флэш, точно.
Забыл про него. Точно.
Так что вот 5 чувачков у нас нынче из комьюнити на ГТК выступают. Неожиданно. Не помню, кто у нас, кстати, на Эйсе нынче будет. По-моему, точно Тезура есть. Не помню, кто еще на самом деле. Кидаем шашку в лицо, душим. Как чат душит меня, что персона это хорошая. Ладно.
So, this is going to be the end of the first part of the stealth section. You have to take him down for the endpoint to reveal itself. That guy can't see us, that's fine. He's also not going to see us coming in the next part either. Wait for a second, not skippable just yet. Now skippable. Jump over the roof. Now, the start of this bit is going to put you directly in a hiding spot. When you're in a hiding spot, you can't actually leave the hiding spot. You have a coin opportunity here, but when you throw a coin, as you saw earlier, it makes every single enemy kind of just judder for a second, so that's slower than using the smoke bomb.
Здесь по таймингу ждем чувачка, чтобы кинуть ему шашечку в лицо.
We need to have very good timing to be able to get him perfectly. It is very, very tight timing in this bit, so I have to concentrate.
Тезура отпразднует сибирского Сэма, когда он выйдет, а выйдет он 25 числа. О нет, не повезло. И получаем по роже. Game over.
No, pushed it too hard. I kind of saw his angle as being a bit weird, and I shouldn't have tried that. Sorry, we get restarted there. It's fine. That's failing 2 investigation.
Немножко не повезло нам по таймингу.
But yeah, that's the reason why I said the timing is very, very tight on that one, and there's a slight chance that it might be tighter with the Japanese dub. I'm not so sure. The English dub and the Japanese dub have very slight differences in some of their scripting. It's one of the reasons as to why the original Judgment is much, much faster in English, is because for some bizarre reason, in the original Judgment, you can actually skip certain boss intros, but only in the English dub. Very weird. Very weird, but that's the reason why, obviously, we run.
Ну, кстати, да. На ГДК Тезура Ран помогал комментировать как раз-таки работника из Crow Team.
That's a little. That's pushing my luck just a little too much. Alright, so if you're not aware, if you were here for the prologue early, we went into this building here. We're actually going to the tatami room where we found Kosuke.
И сейчас мы встретим чувака вообще из начала игры Kosuke. Он ничему так и не научился, и он до сих пор проигрывает свои деньги в казино в этом же самом месте. И на нас опять нападают участники Аркей. Здесь раскидываем толпу, хорошая комбо. У этого парня хайпер армор. Делаем хит экшен. Нам помогает Кайта. И добиваем. Вот причина, по которой эта игра мочит. Crow Team, по-моему, чехи. Обчи.
most of the time with your charge attacks, you have a little bit of, not iframes to it,
А,
but hyper armor.
хорваты.
If
Ну,
you can
блин.
time that hyper armor up,
Ладно.
right, you can actually go through most people's
Да,
EX
все
attacks.
европейские
Look at
страны
Kusumoto
как
there.
на одно лицо.
She doesn't want Kuana to be unfairly punished because of, obviously, what happened with Shinya Kawai. But there's a bit of a problem. Mitsuru Kusumoto has just woken up from his coma. And unfortunately, Bando is there. So Bando of Public
Я сижу в
Security
неудобном
is
стуле,
now
к
going to
сожалению.
start putting the real pressure onto Reiko Kusumoto.
Не понял,
And this is
почему
going to
бан.
make everybody start to go after Jin
Ладно,
Kuana.
возвращаемся к экрану, хватит в чат
Pouch.
смотреть.
There you go. And we're going to try.
Нам опять же
We're going
нужно
to try
найти
and
Куану.
find Jin Kuana the next day. But of course, because Jin
Берем
Kuana's
очень
gone on the ground,
хорошее
it's going to
такси.
make it a little bit trickier. So, head back to Izazaki Jincho. Now, this is the nice taxi. It's a very nice taxi because, as you've seen, whenever we come from Kamurocho to Ijincho, we always get put over at the train station. But here it actually brings us straight back to Yokohama 99. So, do appreciate that.
Телепортируемся в Йокохаму, заходим в офис
So,
и телепортируемся на Иджин 3.
this is a time waiting segment with a difference.
Якудза Like a Dragon на этой улице. Здесь очень смешная мини-игра, связанная с
The
кинотеатром.
reason why we go to the Lumang area is because after this time waiting segment, we actually want to go
Заходим
to the
в
Lumang area. So
китайский район
with this one
Лиманга.
and with the next time waiting segment, we really want to go to different places. So Kuana's not actually here at the Lumang area restaurant row, but Tesso.
И нам нужно спросить у
I
Тесса,
missed the cutscene,
где же
that
находится
sucks.
Куана.
If you're to the left far enough, you actually get straight into that cutscene and you don't stagger at the bottom. It's my fault for not pushing myself up enough against the bin. This little outhouse here is actually used in Yakuza Like a Dragon speedrun. You buy a couple of attack upgrade equipment pieces in here. In this game, unfortunately, we don't get that choice, but instead we get a secret exit out of Restaurant Row via the sewers over to the other part of the city, over by the middle park. And we're just gonna call an Uber anyway. I don't know why I couldn't do that in the first place. We're going to go up to Yui Mamiya's apartment where Akaiki is going to be waiting for us to take us to Kuana. Kuana's actually at the top part of the map over at Hamakita Park where there is a giant boat. If you've seen it Like a Dragon again, you'll have seen that boat. You'll wondered why there wasn't a set piece on there. There is going to be a set
Якудза
piece
Like a
on there.
Dragon была вот эта большая
Kuana
лодочка,
likes this place
которая
because there's a
очень
lot of escape
морочила
options.
глаз.
He can see people who are coming.
И
We don't see
благодаря
Sora
нам
coming
даются
who
подраться
starts to take you
на
back.
этой лодочке.
So,
И даже нам дадут ее
This
взорвать.
fight is going to be a little
Здесь
tricky.
у
We can
всех
lose a lot of
противников
time in this
есть
fight,
биты,
not
что
due to
опасно,
things
но мы
in
им
our
раздаем
volition,
чарджи.
down to Kuana,
Экс-хит
we lose time
мод.
in this fight.
Опять же
Kuana
раздаем
can take
чарджи.
enemies all the way to the other end of
К
the boat,
сожалению,
which
там
is, as you
два
probably
чувака
guessed,
осталось с одним
kind of
хп.
frustrating. Now,
Сформируем наш
the big
урон,
problem
опять же, в
is
кран.
the main enemy,
Раскидываем всех.
Shimazaki has a second phase. He starts off with a baseball bat. Unfortunately, his second phase, he gets a gun. And obviously, gun enemies can destroy you,
Даже
especially
небольшой
boss
комбо
enemies
в
with
стиле
guns.
змеи сделал.
I'll do one quick little snake combo there. If I could juggle him. Nope. If I could juggle him, this would be great because I do not want to deal with him. I really do not want to deal with him. Nice. So here's your juggle. So basically, as I said, you can change your combo style at any point. Did you? No, you did not take care of everyone, Kuana. Almost. Oh, thank you for dropping your guard. Appreciate that. So you saw there a tiny little bit of it. You'll see a little bit more of it in the finale coming up here. But basically, at any point during your combo, you can change your style. You can change it back to any of the other styles at any point. You can basically go from Tiger to Crane, Tiger to Snake, or as I did there, Tiger to Tiger. So in this chapter, we're going to be getting a couple of move upgrades. At this point, basically,
Куана передал нам какой-то амулет для того, чтобы мы могли его дать Ихаре.
It's to help him in his conviction. We theorize that this pendant has something on it because Kuana basically feels at this point like everyone's closing in on him. Public security's closing in on him, Arcade's closing in on him, we're closing in on him. So he feels, we have the theory that he feels like he's about to get, caught up. So we're going to carry on with
Едем в Камуроч для того, чтобы выслушивать судебное дело Ихары. И слушаем донат. А я пока что попью воды. Помните, чуваки, вода — это хорошо.
Saying can't wait to see the Lost Judgment with Froob and his commentary. Can we make that boss rush happen? And we have $50 from Syndrus that says, I absolutely love RGG games and love watching Froob run them, so we absolutely need to see more of this game. And we have $10 from Fanaronic that says, for a game I don't know anything about, I've been engrossed this whole time. Definitely going to want to see the boss rush. Good luck, Froob. 2 tickets to the $5 train, please.
Какая синька? Я сказал вода. H2O.
Out of $100,000, and we have eclipsed the $1.19 million mark. So, Froob, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on Bulbasaur? Because that may help us a little bit.
Пятница только наступила. Давайте без синь, товарищи. Осуждаем. Синька только по празднику. Ладно. Возвращаемся в Йокохаму. Идем в китайский район. Да, китайский район Лиманга.
What? What I have to apologize for? He's all right. So, from the Ihara conversation, the big thing to glean away from it is that he still has the murder weapon. And interestingly enough, it's actually hidden in a really morbid place. Because everybody here went to go and see... no one knows where Kamano is. A couple of them went to go and see Ihara's wife. They lit some incense at their son's shrine.
Там про спрятанное оружие, убийство.
Ooh. So, we're going to rest here overnight. We actually got a pop-up box just a little while ago back in Kamurocho saying that if we taxi over to Izizaki at Jincho, then we are going to be in the point of no return. We're about to get one last point of no return mark here. When you do this, this is where we're going to be locked into the finale. We've got about 20 minutes left of the run. So, I believe I'm good to go. Now, that pendant. Sukumo figures out that that pendant is actually hiding a worm card, a once read many card, which basically means that whatever's recorded on it can't be falsified. Here's the thing. The thing on that worm card is Ihara killing Mikoshiba.
У нас теперь есть доказательство того, что Ихара убил своего же сына. И теперь нам нужно показать это в суде.
Unfortunately, she was getting quite close to some RK guys, and she mentioned Mamikota's name as well. So unfortunately, we're going to have to go and rescue them. We're going to start a big, long fight here. Now, you can actually tell how well you're doing.
Здесь долгое динамическое интро.
Basically, what happens from Sukumo, because it's not just the boys who are going to help us. Sukumo is going to help us too. On the drone, he's going to launch a couple of smoke bombs. What we want to do is finish this fight before we manage to get any of the smoke bombs off. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of clever little tricks with Tiger and Crane in the hopes of getting the fight done before the first smoke bomb goes off.
Ой, простите, запутался в лоре.
Which can actually be a little bit of a problem. Also, our boy Kaito got another.
Да блин, тут 20-минутные касцены, их надо как-то объяснять за 10 секунд.
Yes, he was the one on the construction building. Yes, we're going to be fighting him again. He's actually the big boss in this fight, which is kind of interesting. So, he's the one I'm going to be focusing on first. Once again, we're going to try and get him into a second phase. We'll work on everybody else after that.
Покупаем апгрейды на кран.
I'm not going to forget to get EX Burst Immortal, am I?
Тройной кик.
We're going to be getting all of Crane's hidden arts. If we can dodge an attack at the right time with Crane,
И прием, который нам позволяет встать с пола, когда мы падаем. Очередной реюст мувсет из Якудзы Зира. Чувак с фиолетовой полоской ХП использует мувсет Куза из Якудзы 0.
Yeah, actually not means I'm not happy about that. So, very important to get that before the finale, because again, everything that happens in this finale is going to dictate how we take this finale. Again, we don't want to be in low HP if we can help it, but low HP strats will make this much faster.
Не самый плохой файт.
One went off. It's a shame. But this fight should be over at this point. That's an okay fight. That's an average fight. It's not a bad fight. It's just an average fight. I had that guy unfortunately go away from me. Usually what you can do at the start is get him and the large HP bar at the same time, but unfortunately he moved away from me. I didn't plan for that. Soma turns up. Soma does Soma things. That's pretty much the sum up for that. Soma does evil things.
И из детектива мы превращаемся в адвоката.
Asking him, oh, we're a lawyer now, by the way. Just phase shift 1 month later, we're a lawyer now. Soma confirms he is public security. So, the map. If ever you're confused about any piece of evidence to give over, it's the map. We have reason to doubt the victim's credibility.
И всего за одно доказательство карты и 2 ответа мы выигрываем судебное дело.
Congratulations, Ihara is going to be put away for murder. Congratulations, everybody. Literally in 5 minutes, or like literally in like 10-15 minutes in 20 seconds. Good job. So, Kuana has gone to hide because Kuana has one rather piece of substantial evidence that
И
can
Куана
tie
сейчас
everybody
прячется
to the murders and
на
the bullies.
каком-то
He
складе,
still has
потому что у
Shinya
него есть
Kurai's body. We
доказательства,
get that fact from
очень
Yurano
веское
earlier.
доказательство,
This
которое
is the
позволит
final
засадить
set
Ихару
piece
надолго,
here in
а
town.
именно тело
One more after this. That's
чувака,
where the
которого
fun
он
really
убил.
begins. So we're going to try and start off by building up our EX on this first phase. There's going to be 3 waves of enemies.
Если на нас в очередной раз нападают Аркей.
So again, if I get the opportunity to change
В последние
to
минут
Frame,
20 мы сейчас будем драться только с Аркей,
I'm actually going to stay a little further back at the start
потому
of
что
this
тут
phase
никакой
because
вариативности
some
с
enemies
противниками.
behind
По
them,
сути,
and I
они
want to start from
гопники
them
с
first,
улицы,
because they're really
но
a
они
pain
все
to take
бывшие
care of.
офицеры Якудзы.
So the quick
Ну,
swapping
скорее всего,
of
не
the
все
styles
офицеры.
actually, that's a
Офицер только
quick swapping
Акуцу,
of the styles actually allows us to
а
get
это
back
больше как
from back into a
простые
neutral position a lot quicker, much like
работяги
you can with your dash
в Якудзе.
You're the one that I'd like to take care of. You don't need to take care of this guy to be able to progress this part, as you can see, but we are going to have to deal with him eventually. Now, everybody here is going to spawn ahead of me, so now I'm going to go into my EX.
Посмотрим,
Preferably,
получится
I
ли у
would
нас
ideally
сохранить
love
немножко
to save
хит-мода.
some of my EX for the final set piece at the start of it, because the final set piece at the start of it is going to be a
Даем
little
всем
tricky.
чарджи.
So I'm going to probably
Осталось
manually cancel
2 противника.
point here. Actually, I think I
А
can
нет,
take
даже
care of
3.
this quite quick.
Карта меня обманула.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. 1 bar? Okay, 1 bar. That's good enough. So, we're gonna get our final,
Идем на
final
склад,
point
и
of
тут
no
у
return.
нас
We're gonna get told basically,
очень
hey,
большая
this is it,
длинная
you might wanna
битва.
stock up on healing items, because now we're gonna go to the warehouse that is owned by Koana's uncle, and we're gonna go get Koana. This is a 100
И раннеру
man
пока что
battle.
нужно
This is a remix of
концентрироваться на
Destination
этом.
from the first game. Absolutely fantastic.
Иначе
I'm going to
можно
have to
получить
concentrate
по
on
роже
this
и
one,
гейм-овер.
because I am at one-hit kill range
У нас и так
right
уже
now.
половина
Is it
хп.
Nope, shame. I'm at one-hit kill range right now, and there's a couple of enemies in here that are actually kind of nasty. The last one in particular actually gets a gun. So, Bobby, you've got about a minute or 2 for donations.
All right, well, I am going to start with the $50 donation from Bubblegum2Love that says, can't wait to hear Froob apologize about his lukewarm take about Bulbasaur. And $5 from Abscess Rex that donates $5 that says, I cannot believe Froob just said that. He has to apologize to Bulbasaur immediately. Let's get the 100K. And we do have a $260 donation from the Archangels that says Froob's Lost Judgment run and commentary has been excellent. Also, thanks to everyone at GDQ for all the amazing work y'all do every year. And $50 from Bombi that says, this new Ace Attorney game looks
Жесть,
different.
эпилог.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you're pointing with your fist on this one, I'm guessing. So thank you so much for that. How are we doing? We are almost to $35,000 out of the $100,000 Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive and lukewarm Bulbasaur apology from Froob. So let's push for that. And also, we are at $1.193 million total for the Prevent Cancer
Опять же,
Foundation.
трансформируем
Let's
наш
get to
урон
1.2
из тигра
million
в кран.
very soon. Let's go ahead and do this. So, go over to gamesdonequick.com/donate.
Ух, какой гигами
Donate
быстрый.
towards the Boss Rush incentive. We are so close to the end on that. And we do have a $500
Это и есть PS5 гир.
from Verinithus Thrust. I apologize for mispronouncing that. I'll take 100 tickets to the $5
Ну, суди
training.
сам.
Screw cancer. Miss you, mom. Thank you so much for that. $5 goes
Оригинальная
a long
Якудза
way,
6 не
as
очень
does
хорошо
$500
шла
to Prevent Cancer Foundation
на
loves
консоли своего
all of
поколения,
these.
а именно PS4.
We also have
I was gonna say, you can keep going until I'm done with this, because this is not going well.
okay.
У нас пока что
Well, we
всего
have a
35%
$250
на
donation from
Gauntlet Boss
Wavefront
Rush.
says, hype for the Lost Judgment run. Good luck, Froob. And a $50 donation from
Я так и не
Raven
понял,
that says, "Go, Froob,
нужно это
go.
собрать
Best
до
of
конца
luck
рана
in the
или
run."
до конца
He
марафона?
needs it right now. He'll get it. He'll get it.
Что мне кажется,
I
что
have faith in Froob.
до
I have
конца
more
рана
faith in
все-таки.
Froob than the faith Froob has in Bulbasaur. We have a $500 donation from
Ой-ой-ой, сейчас получим по роже, используем хилочку.
$500 that says, good luck with the run, Froob. And a
I'm gonna take this safe. Sorry, carry on. I'm sorry, I was just
No.
mattering to myself.
No, it's fine. And we do have a $250 donation from Biteman that has no comment. It actually doesn't have a comment. No comment.
Убираем чувака с пистолетом.
And we have a $50 donation from Patsikin that says, hey, everyone, loving the run so far. I've been meaning to play the Yakuza series, and now I guess I have to add the spin-offs to the list, too.
Ой, да если бы, но нет таких прямо лютых любителей Якудзы, к сожалению.
If you have Prime Gaming. That's right, and I do want to remind everybody that all revenue that Games Done Quick receives after taxes from subs and bits on the Twitch channel this month also gets donated to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So all revenue after taxes that GDQ receives goes toward that, and it goes toward our amazing cause.
Ну, хотя бы PS5 не имела ценника, как у PS3 в свое время. Вот, серьезно, кто вообще помнит эксклюзивы PS3? Я только помню МГС-4, больше ничего нету.
Is actually way higher than it usually is. This combo actually is the combo you use in the original Judgment. I should be using this one. But because I have my damage buff and everyone's in a nice line ahead of me, I can just go absolutely crazy. So again, we just want to cancel out and just keep going as crazy as we can with our damage. He should get up in a little bit. Should go the other way, that's fine. But yeah, the HP that you have during all of this basically lasts until the end of the set piece. And because I'm in a marathon, I'm not gonna push my luck. The inside fight was a bit better than the outside fight. The outside fight, the last guy that comes in with 2 HP bars, he actually has a gun, and obviously that can pretty much almost kill you at full HP. He's the one that I was worried about the
Все
most.
так же даем
The position that he spawned
аркей
in was so far away from me,
товарищам
I
по роже.
really wasn't
Очередной
happy.
реюст
So I
мувсет
wanted to make sure
Шибусавы.
I played it safe, but funnily enough, at this HP value, I would have died.
Даже можно игру
So, oh well.
придумать для вечеринок. Каждый раз, когда вы в Dragon Engine Якудзе видите использованный мувсет Шибусавы, возьмите 50 грамм, и можно умереть от цирроза печени. Ну да, Линкшар, но это все потом было перевыпущено. А вот конкретно именно эксклюзив, который так и остался на PS3, я вспомню только МГС-4.
So we have our last couple of action sections coming up. This first one we need to run forward here for a bit of speed tech because we need to go look over
Мы оставим нашу шайку тут, сами пока пойдем попаркурим.
Find a way up there, which is obviously these pipes. It always is. We're going to leave the gang here whilst we go up here and unlock the door for them. This is going to be our second and only our second lockpick of the entire game in the last one. We're going to run over here. Sometimes we get tutorialized on how to wall run again because it's been so long since we did it the first time. Hopefully go to the right. Yep, good angle. You can actually get pushed to the left off those barrels, and you have to realign yourself entirely for this vent. So getting that angle is kind of nice. We have the falling animation here, which we can cancel out off with the button. Open the door, and the unlock part. So let's rush over here, get the door unlocked. Tutorialize you again, because it's been since the start of the game. Again, the side content has way more of the... The side content has way more of like, the lockpick stuff and like the tailing stuff and stuff like that. That's why I keep saying that the main story just wants you to play the game. Like, there's very little downtime in this compared to the original Judgment. RGG took on a lot of really good constructive criticism, and Lost Judgment just wants you to play. It's good fun. You saw a little bit with the combat there. That's the kind of combat that you can see in the boss gauntlet and against, like, some of the hardest bosses in this game. Like, you can basically just juggle almost infinitely. I'm gonna try, depending on my HP, I'm gonna have to potentially do juggle strats against the penultimate boss in this set piece, actually. For this fight, because I have a lot of EX, I can actually go ahead and do what I want to do early. We're going to get a damage buff against these guys, and I'm going to run to the back of the room. So, get a damage buff against you. I'm going to try and take care of you while I'm here.
Скипаем анимацию вхождения в хит-мод тем, что мы упали с платформы. Там была большая анимация, которая скипает другую анимацию. Задаем всем чарджи, трансформируем наш урон. А, нет, не трансформируем, хотя он должен был перейти в кран, как я понял. You see the Sugura up there starts throwing down grenades to try and help us. That doesn't help us. Thanks.
So once we skip another piece of text, we can skip the rest of this cutscene. Yagami has thunder fires because you can see that somehow
Смотрим
breaks.
наверх,
I don't know
смотрим на вентиляцию.
it's how wooden pallets work in real life, I suppose. And we're gonna look here. We're gonna see that's the way up. We're gonna look to the right. We're gonna
Опять
look at this
секция
bit here. This is
с
obviously how we
паркуром,
climb up
минуты
the
на
walls.
2.
So we're gonna get into a big, long action section here. It's gonna last about a minute or 2 minutes. If we mess up this action section, we're going to fall into a fight that has 2 enemies with 5 HP bars. I'm not going to do that, and there's actually no real danger of that happening, so whilst I'm just climbing again, Bobby, if you want to read off some donations now, would be absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely. We have a $200 donation from King Duncan Gamer that says, always great to watch Froob, whether it be a marathon run or a casual stream. I sadly lost my mother 2 years ago due to cancer, so supporting causes such as this is always great, so others don't have to suffer the same. Donation goes toward the boss gauntlet and hopefully towards warding off those Dragon Engine shenanigans. And we have $50 from Droth the Destroyer saying, what a great day. Awful games, Castlevania, and now Froob? That's a hard day to top. Thanks to all the runners, commentators, and volunteers behind the scenes. And we have a $50 donation from Kirvik that says, both of my grandparents died of stomach cancer, and my mother was early diagnosed of it, so I have been deeply affected by it. I want to thank all of the GDQ staff, the runners, and PCF for their amazing work this week. Also, great run from Froob. His explanations are amazing, and he seems to be a nice guy. Putting my money towards the boss rush, greetings from Spain, and sorry for my rusty English. Your English was amazing, and I am so sorry for your loss and everything affected by that. Thank you so much.
Тоже очень крутое динамическое интро перед боем.
We are over $35,000 toward the 100,000, and we are almost to 1.195 million.
Товарищ по имени Хигаши ведет погрузчик. Я как понял, это отсылка на серию Шинму, потому что грузчик — парень работящий.
This is how we're gonna bust on into the last fight before the final set of fights. My HP is actually at a pretty good spot for where I would want it for a marathon run, because it allows me to do a little bit of crazy shenanigans coming up. So, in this fight, this guy has the big HP.
Стараемся
into his EX phase first.
фармить наш
We're going to try and build up
мод
that EX in this fight as much as possible. I prefer free bars.
Очередной
I have a
релиз
spare power
Шибусавы.
for marathon purposes, just in case I go back into low HP, because we will need EX Burst Immortal to survive the last few bosses. But we're going to take care of this guy right here. We're going to do this. Can I juggle? No, so you'll get to a point in the juggle where you can't actually juggle anymore, because the bosses are about to go into their second part. That's the part where you can't do it. You should go into it now.
С бочками, иначе не могут его застанить.
Barrel guys have got to go. No, they can stun you. And that boy Kaito. Barrel guys have got to go. They are very frustrating in this bit. They are probably the scariest enemies on harder difficulties. Now we'll work on this guy. I'm gonna cancel out my EX after this if this fight isn't over. Unfortunate. I'm gonna snake style you to break your guard. I do not.
И теперь немножко страшная вещь. Нам придется драться с Сомой на очень низком ХП. Хоть мы и будем делать намного больше урона, мы можем очень легко получить по оружию. Очень больно.
So, the last part of this is a little bit of a boss rush.
У Сомы две фазы. Первая, где он дерется вместе с участниками арки. Будем в Соме чарджи. Пытаемся его станить как можно больше. Отлично, проходим первую фазу. И на самом деле мы не можем здесь завалить Сому. Просто убегает от нас.
You can see Kawana's here. He's actually here with the body of Shinya Kawai, which is rigged with a bomb. Because of course it is. We have to add a little bit more dramatic flair to our final scenes. And I did say earlier on,
И сейчас будет опять же крутецкий саундтрек Сомы. Но также Сома может нас ваншотнуть. Так что нужно быть очень аккуратным.
By the way, Soma can one-hit kill me at this point. This is where things get fun. I'm glad that this is what usually happens in runs because I'm used to having my HP this low at this point. So.
Как вы знаете, во всех фильмах погони заканчиваются в холодильниках с мясом. Lost Judgment не исключение.
Hey, make sure you stick around, because coming up after this is the KH2 co-op randomizer. It's going to be good fun.
О, нет, у нас нет хит-мода. Запускаем Сому и жонглируем им. Вот, собственно, почему прекрасна боевка в этой игре. Ой-ой, ой-ой-ой. Очень плохо. О, нет. У нас сейчас 1 хп. Сейчас он сделает свою мортальную атаку. Контр-атак. И снимаем ему 1,5 хелбара. Используем хилку, которая дает нам хп и хит-мод, и используем экстракт. И просто уничтожаем его. Делаем QTE.
Now, by using the Warrior's Onslaught extract, after his EX phase, I did it a little later for marathon safety because I didn't want to get hit by that. That's going to carry over.
Почему тема Сомы настолько хорошая. Но, к сожалению, мы не можем больше послушать. Даем Соме пороже и время финального босса. Но если вы думаете, что у Сомы была хорошая музыка, то послушайте это.
And if you thought Viper was a good fight theme, listen to this build-up. Clearly unskippable as well, by the way. Which, thank goodness, is great. Yeah, murder's bad, Kaito.
И финальный босс это Вана. К Вану мы сейчас разберем очень быстро. У нас есть все еще экстракт воина. И даем ему пороже в углу. И перетекаем в следующую фразу, в которой музыка становится еще лучше.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a shame that the final boss comes down to press circle a lot, but the final boss comes down to press circle a lot. You get to see cool fight moves, though. I should probably pretend, you know, all of this is like, you know, pixel perfect movement. This is like me doing precisely RNG manipulation to make him be in the right place. And I'm just pressing circle.
Не бьем его здесь, ждем, пока он войдет в хит-мод. Сами входим в хит-мод. Пороже. И мортальная атака. Ой, не получилось. Ну и финальный QTE. И время.
Time is coming up on the final QT press. You really had to get one last EX out, didn't you? Time's coming up, and now. It's a little bit of a shame. It's a little bit of an anticlimactic way to end the actual run, but the Warrior's Onslaught extract is just so obscenely overpowered that it just ends. It's just that. At least you get good music out of it. Deary me. But yeah, that's gonna do it for
Раздаем
Lost
шатауты.
I guess I'll say my closing remarks. Once again, I would like to thank everybody involved with GDQ. I'd like to thank, obviously, the runners for putting on a great event. I'd like to thank the staff for everything that they've done behind the scenes.
Шатаут
Shout
ОБС,
out
который
to
сломал
my
ему
tech
все.
staff earlier when we loaded up OBS and found that it had erased all of my settings. Shout outs to my Windows for also trying to update and break my audio drivers again. Appreciate you. I want to thank Bobby. Thank you very, very much for all of your great donation reading. I want to thank everybody who's obviously donated, anybody who's watching, anybody who's spreading the word of GDQ. The GDQ has been trend-setting for breaking records, and even if we didn't meet the boss gauntlet, I'm super proud of what we've done with this run, and I'm super proud of all of you and thankful that you would share all of your wonderful stories with us, and I'm super thankful you'd share your time with us. And please keep watching the marathon, because there
на
are
этом
some
я
fantastic runs coming up.
завершаю
Thank you
свою
so very, very
комментаторскую
much.
смену. Всем хорошего